That's right. Let's do this. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for another action-packed episode of the Wicked Wally webcast, soon to be the best hard rock, heavy metal show on the planet. I'm your host, Wicked Wally, and I am also the producer of the show, so I've got all these crazy buttons to push. Let's see what's going on. Oh, preview, sneak preview. There we go. Wrong button. So still COVID times, and it's still an empty studio, so hopefully eventually here we'll get a chance to have a few guest hosts here. I don't know when the news is going to break that we're going to have something new going on, but I'm excited to have everyone here tonight, and I have a killer show for you guys tonight. This is episode number 14 of the show, and we have guest Red Cain, Calgary's own Red Cain. They are the 2017 YYC Music Award Metal Recording of the Year winners. They've been nominated multiple years in a row for the Best Recording of the Year, and they are joining us to break down their upcoming sophomore album, Kindred Act 2, a sequel to Kindred Act 1 that's going to be releasing this Friday, January the 22nd. And I want to mention we are live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch. If you're seeing us on Facebook, I would recommend YouTube or Twitch because the quality's a bit better, but Facebook is cool as well. Wherever you are, we want to see your comments in the chat. If you have questions for the band, questions for Wally, or if you just want to say hi, just put up your metal horns. That's awesome as well. Got 5 people watching so far. Hi out there. Hello out there. Thanks for tuning in. It's going to be a killer show tonight. Hope to get some more people joining here shortly. And like I said, Red Cain, as you see, we're repping some Red Cain here tonight. The boys got me gave me a killer shirt. Last time I interviewed them, long time ago, they gave me a t-shirt and they gave me another one. Thank you so much for the free shirt, guys. And it's time, without further ado, let's introduce Red Cain, the members of Red Cain that are joining me here tonight on Skype. Hello, everyone. Hey, you guys can unmute yourselves. We have Evgeny, Tyler, and Taylor.
What is up?
What is up,
how's it going, Wally?
Not too bad, not too bad. Can you... we figured this all out beforehand. If the music's too loud, let me know. I'll turn it down a bit for you guys. But, yeah, it's great to all have you here. First time we've had 3 people join remotely. We'll see how it works. I was a bit nervous about doing this, but it looks like it's working okay. So, yeah, Evgeny, Tyler, and Taylor, this is the best way we can meet. Someday, I would love to have you in studio. And, without further ado, first thing I have to mention, Evgeny. Jay's in the chat says, haha, all remote, what could go wrong?
Everything that could go wrong over here.
Everything that could go wrong. Before the show, Evgeny had to turn off his VPN because the Skype call was lagging. And every single show, it's like technical issues, but we've ironed them all out. I think we're good for tonight. Oh, Ancient Relic Music. Hey, Wally, excited for the show. Is that you, Evgeny, in the chat?
No.
No.
What was the name in the chat?
Ancient Relic Music.
Ancient Relic Music. That's a cool name. But no,
that's a very cool name. Yeah, I wonder who that is.
No.
But I have to mention, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, Evgeny.
I gotta say, I forgot that it was my birthday. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, dude. Like, you're joining on your birthday. I guess during these times, there's probably not much you can do on your birthday. So it's...
So this is actually like the perfect birthday celebration.
Exactly.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a chance to actually join in and do something. Yeah.
And there's one more thing I want to say, Wally.
Yeah.
On being on your show, I don't know why or how. We've been on it 3 times. I think this is the 3rd time. I think we've done every single album up to this point,
right,
including the EP. This is like, for me at least, mentally, this is when we know that the album is done. When we get on your show, usually a day or 2 before you release it, and it's like, all right, this is it.
Well,
we're done.
It's no secret that I am a huge fan of your music. I'm a fan of the band. That's why I have you on. Yes, you're from the town. You're from Calgary, and we're shooting this out of Calgary. But I am a fan. That's why you're here. I love your guys' music, and man, you've done a incredible job on Kindred Act 2. We have five singles now, music videos. People can check that out. There's a total of 7 tracks on the album, so there's 2 more that they're going to be able to hear once the album releases this Friday. You've done a fantastic job on this, and you've pushed yourselves I would say, in new directions that you've never pushed yourselves before. There's some experimental things you've done on this album. Was that a conscious effort to change up your sound a little bit and introduce some new elements to your music?
I'm going to let Tyler talk about some of this too, because his presence on the album is one of the main reasons behind the new elements.
Right.
But also, it was a conscious decision. We've always been a little bit experimental in the music that we've released. The first album had some weird shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, and I mean, this album has plenty of weird stuff too. But I think we wanted to keep pushing the envelope. It's no fun if you don't, right?
Right.
And I mean, like, we're not here. We're not really constrained by a lot of things that were we signed to a major label or something like that. We would be constrained by. So we just wanted to move forward, experiment, try all kinds of weird shit that we've always wanted to try. But also with the second album, it was supposed to be a dramatic departure from the first in tone. Maybe not in the songwriting and the music itself, but it was supposed to be significantly heavier, more aggressive, a lot more kind of in your face, a lot more upfront, and less compromising, less nuanced, but also quintessentially Red Cain. And I think with a lot of the songs on there, you can tell that it's kind of moved a notch in that direction, or at least I hope that you can.
I think so too. In quintessential Red Cain, I would agree with that 100%. So Tyler, this is the second time you've been on the Wicked Wally webcast, and this is only episode number 14. I didn't mention it at the top of the show. We're only episode number 14 of the show, and you've been on twice. you're a key.
Am I winning? Is there anyone else that's been on more than me?
Well, my co-hosts. That's about it. That's it. That's it. In terms of guests, in terms of actually like guests, it's you, man. You're the winner so far. So we'll see if anyone will beat you. But we might actually have you back on again to talk about your solo stuff one of these days too, if you have anything new coming out, if you decide to play around with that. But yeah, so Tyler is also a key member of the band Osiren, and now you have produced, and you're also a big, huge part of the recording of this album. You not only mixed and mastered this album, right? Mm-hmm. Or did you get someone else to master it this time?
No.
It was just me for both this time around.
Wow. Okay. Your skills are increasing. And you also do all the guitar work. Taylor and Evgeny, you've been part of the band since the very beginning, right? Since the inception.
I kind of joined it right after the first EP.
I think it counts as being
okay.
a founding member
It seems like you've been there forever, but
at this point, yeah, it's been a little while ago now.
It's been a long time, yeah. So Taylor's been on drums for a very long time. Evgeny, I believe, probably the one that got everything kind of started with the band. He's a big creative force from the band, and now Tyler, you've kind of become the third member of Red Cain, at least in terms of the album recording. How did that happen?
The production side. Well, I mean, I got involved with Kindred Act 1. I remember Jack and I had chatted at a show at Dickens about, they were looking for someone to help with the recording and mixing, maybe just getting even some editing done on some of the tracks for Act 1. And that's kind of where it started. And I think there was a bit of a time crunch on their end. So Jack asked if I could mix a couple of the songs alongside Sasha. That was Act 1, was both
Act 1,
myself,
yeah, right. Sasha, there was a time crunch.
Myself and Sasha, we kind of co-mixed, and then I mastered it all.
Right. The previous album, yep.
But then this time around, because we had a good working relationship on the last album, we kind of just decided to work together throughout the whole thing. And I mean,
and the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, we planned it out at the beginning of Act 2, and like always, it kind of led in a different direction, and kind of just the whole production was very experimental, and it was pretty fun, but just very kind of, it was its own process. So we tried to plan it at the beginning, but it kind of just went its own way.
Right, and we're going to talk about that,
which is awesome.
Which is awesome. We're going to talk about that tonight. what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through. We're gonna listen to the five music videos released, lyric videos or visual graphic videos. We're gonna listen to those songs. We're gonna talk a bit about each one, and we're gonna talk a little about the other tracks on the album, and we'll get a chance to really dig into tonight the creative force behind every track, because every track kind of has some uniqueness to it. I'd say maybe there's 2 or 3 that are more similar, but overall, the album has a lot of variety, which I was not expecting. And you guys had asked me a while back what my favorite song on the album was. And I had to pick off the bat because it's kind of the catchiest tune on the track. Honestly, I think there's a song that stands out for me the most, but the best way to listen to Kindred Act 2, in my opinion, and we'll probably get this by the end of the show, the idea of this by the end of the show, is to listen to the entire album start to finish. This is an album that I want to listen to. I don't want to listen to just one song. I want to start at the beginning. I want to listen to the whole thing and maybe listen to it one more time and on repeat. So that's the kind of album it is for me when I listen to it. I want to listen. This the whole thing. It's all the variety, the differences, the journey it takes you on. That's what it is for me. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
So I actually have a lot of comments on that, and to hear you say that is actually really fantastic, because I personally, I guess, when I was trying to conceptualize this album and write a lot of it, I had a lot of conflict between how to put it together, even in things like the track order, the story order, because what the main difference from the last one and this one that we wanted to pursue was releasing every song as a single. Obviously, like in the era that we're in right now and the way songs are consumed and music is consumed, people are way more likely to listen to singles.
They are. Yep.
And our job as musicians, I believe, is to gain maximum exposure to our audience. So if our audience wants to listen to songs individually, then it's kind of our duty to make sure that they can do it that way.
Sure.
So when we wrote the songs, we wrote them in the way that they could be consumed individually and all hold their own.
Sure.
No filler songs. That was kind of the decision from the beginning of the album. Only 7, only the best ones. Everyone can stand alone. But also, of course, from the other perspective, you want to have the album sound cohesive. And it's pretty rare these days, actually. There are some very good bands that manage to do it, and props to them. That's exactly what we wanted to achieve, to have a cohesive story within one album that flows from track to track. And it's honestly kind of a dying art, and I personally wasn't sure if we were able to nail it. It seems like we kind of got there.
You nailed it.
Really good.
You nailed it. You definitely nailed it. Because when I listened to the songs they released so far separately, I enjoyed it. But it wasn't until all the songs were together and the additional 2 tracks were in there to kind of bridge the gap between some of the songs, because they go heavier and then a bit lighter, and there's a bit of that diversity in it. But speaking of the album, the themes of the music are very interesting to me, because I really dug into the lyrics this time listening to the music while I was listening to the music, and the themes of Slavic myth and Russian paganism. So those themes, can you tell our audience, just to catch us up, what, in a very as brief as you can make it, what happened in Kindred Act 1? Because it's a story that we're telling. It's like reading a story but listening to it. It's like a big storybook. What happened in the last album? Cole's notes, what was the story in the last album? So if people want to pick up and just kind of continue the story from the second album.
I can see these guys are like also eager for me to actually like say what the hell is going on a lot of the stuff. Because I think I confused them.
Because I read the lyrics and I got a general idea of it, but even then, there's a lot of metaphors. There's a lot of... So what happened in the first album? Cole's notes. What happened in the first album, and where are we starting with the second one?
So I'm going to preface this actually with saying that we're not, or at least when I write my lyrics, I'm not one of those people, and I don't want to be one of those bands, or us to be one of those bands that kind of chews and spits out everything for the listener.
Sure.
I firmly believe that the listener has, people have their own experiences. People digest songs separate ways.
That's true.
One of my favorite things always listening to music is like having my own interpretation. And like an example I always use is Camelot had a song called Black Halo, and one of their most famous albums.
Great song. Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was listening to it, and I caught up to that album when I was reading a book series called The Wheel of Time, which is also a fantastic series, like one of my favorites. But for the longest time, I associated Black Halo with The Wheel of Time. I found like the threads and the patterns and the words that directly reference, to me at least, that series in that song. And so when I actually found out that it wasn't written about the Wheel of Time, I was like, come on, it would have fit so well. So now I'm really cautious about giving people too much.
Okay.
Too much information. So that's kind of a preface. So it will be somewhat abstract.
Okay.
But really, the framing device in the whole two Kindred 1 and 2 saga comes out in the second album, and it's this main character, Zalcoatl, who is an Aztec warrior. He's part of a tribe that basically worships the sun god in the Aztec tradition. And so, as you know, people who know the Aztec culture may know, their culture was incredibly bloody, and the sun god was essentially a god of strength, and he demanded sacrifice.
Okay.
And so, in our album, the main storyline is set off by the fact that Zalcoatl is chosen ritually as the champion of his people to ascend this ancient pyramid that has been standing there since the dawn of time. And basically, throughout their history, the tradition is that the warrior who's chosen to represent the people ascends the pyramid to meet the sun god at the very top. And it's a trial by combat and by wits and many other things. And if he manages to ascend the pyramid and make it to the top and receive the blessing of the sun god, then his tribe will be spared from annihilation by this very powerful, very potentially angry and malefic entity.
And also sounds very metal. Yeah,
it's pretty metal. Yeah. So that's kind of the framing device for it. And then the way we set it up is that inside this pyramid is obviously this malevolent force that's a different entity that's preventing him from achieving his goal. And so it's trapped inside the pyramid. But when you enter the pyramid, it is able to influence your mind and your core and show you different things. And it's a very ancient entity. So when Zalcoatl enters the pyramid, part of the way that he's able to ascend to the top is by gaining wisdom and making decisions via reliving the lifetimes of other people or heroes or individuals at various points in human history.
That explains a lot. When I like because that explains a lot, because I had trouble. Like I thought it was just like one big story. So if he's having these visions, this vision quest of other warriors and other civilizations as well, and it's helping him on his journey. Okay. That does help. That really does help.
I mean, it's like reality, but in a different level.
Gotcha.
So these things that
Gotcha.
I mean, we pulled a lot of historical events and semi-historical events, and things from myth that actually do exist, like Osiris in the previous album, and the Moor again, and everything else. So
it almost reminds me. There's like a really good book I've read, American Gods. There's like a TV series now. It's a great book, and they have like a world that's outside. It's kind of parallel to the actual world. And just when you're talking about that kind of that kind of journey, it almost reminds me of that book and how they have these gods live amongst human beings, and then they have this like alternate world that's human beings can't perceive that they're also living in at the same time. And just that kind of reminds me a bit of what you're talking about, where he's able to like live these different lifetimes, and that's pretty cool.
It's an awesome concept. I love it. I love American Gods, so I think
that's pretty cool. Neil Gaiman, if anyone here likes to read books, it's a pretty famous, popular book now. There's a TV show. The TV show I did not like. I tried to get into it. I didn't really. I didn't enjoy it because I think it's a problem when you read a book, and a really good book, it sticks in your mind and it becomes your own. It becomes what you see in your head can almost never be done by a movie or a film or a TV show. Sometimes they get it right, but it's just not really.
That's an interesting concept.
Jason says in the chat, pretty much anything Neil Gaiman is great reading. Yeah, I would say I got to read some more Neil Gaiman for sure. Apparently there's some issues in YouTube, so I guess folks, if you're watching on Facebook, I could stay on Facebook or go to Twitch. I don't know why lately YouTube's been slow on the go when I stream to YouTube. There's been a delay, but the show will be back and will be up there in its full glory once we're done. So sorry for any delays there on YouTube. But still, please send your messages. I want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions. So that's okay. So we have an idea what it's about. This warrior, sun god, bloody sacrifices, very metal. Okay, this is really interesting to me because Tyler, you produced this album, you mixed and mastered, you produced this album, and what's interesting to me is that this does sound like quintessential Red Cain. I think what's really interesting in my mind is that you're like a chameleon, dude. I like your influence did kind of show through a bit more in the last album. In Kindred Act 1, when there was a Sasha track and there was a Tyler track, we talked about that, how you and Sasha Laskow took turns, not turns, but just alternated which tracks were yours and which were his on the album. You mixed different tracks. I could tell a bit of a difference, but now I didn't even realize you were the one doing the guitar work on this on the album until I read the credits. So, because you do have some signatures, there's things in your solo work, there's things you do with your mixing and other projects. This sounds like a Red Cain album. This does not sound like I don't like you obviously had influence on it. You got some experimentation in there. You did some things, but I mean, did you have a really conscious effort to make sure that this album sounded like a Red Cain album?
Yeah, I think a big reason for what you're saying, Wally, is largely because I was a lot more involved, like right from the roots of everything.
Beginning.
Like Jack was sharing his ideas for the song.
Oh, just so everybody knows, if you don't know if you're watching, Evgeny also goes by Jack.
Sorry.
No worries. You might hear him be called Jack tonight, because apparently when you moved to Canada, North America here, people had tough trouble with your name. I have no trouble with it, but anyway, yeah. So Jack, should I change it? And I can change it to /Jack. Anyway,
I'm sure it's fine. People
can figure it out. All right. Anyway.
But yeah, so just having that involvement on a deeper level with every song, I think that really helps with bringing out the goal of the song, or what it should sound like. Whereas previously it was kind of just like I received all these tracks and just mix it kind of thing. Right. So I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons that it sounds like Red Cain, because this time I was more a part of the process, but I was in the stories and in the songs, and
nice.
I helped with writing part of the guitars and stuff too. Jack would send me, he would send me how the song is written, and then because I recorded the guitars as well, I would have to look through his guitar profiles, and I'd have to learn them, so inevitably I'd have to change some stuff so I could play it. Everyone's human, and you gotta if it's a brand new song and you're not trying to conform to like a cover song, you should probably alter it so that you can play it the very best that it can be. Because I think when it comes to being on an album, like, you shouldn't compromise and play something a little bit sloppily just because that's how it was written. Like, if that's the case, either get someone else to record it or change it so that only you can play it the best that it can be played.
That makes sense.
That worked really well, actually.
But
yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I was just gonna say quickly. Sorry, I know there's a bit of delay with Skype, so sorry I keep cutting you off. But that's something interesting too. I saw some of your playthrough videos, Tyler, like when you're playing things, some of your own personal Instagram stories, and you can't always play what you've written until you've practiced it a number of times. That's actually was really, really interesting to me. You'll write something complicated and you'll have to sit there and practice it, and you'll have the metronome going and practice just to get it to sound the way you have it in your head. Do you often write harder stuff than you can just like pop out and play? Like, is that pretty common for you to want to challenge yourself as a musician?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the best way to go about it, and especially if you're a musician who also records yourself when you're practicing. Like, if you're gonna write something a little bit hard and keep practicing it until you can play it perfectly. Right.
Yeah, I find that really impressive. Got some cool stuff in the chat here. So, folks, we'll get to your messages here. Analog Universe says Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's Good Omens is amazing. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. Good Omens.
Check it out.
Definitely have to check that out.
Great book and also great show.
Great show as well. Okay, awesome. I'll go for the book. I haven't been doing enough reading lately. Ancient Relic Music said, sounds like there's Viking Nordic metal influence on Red Cain's lyrical themes. And Saphirium, Winter Sun, Tyr, other bands along these lines, perhaps? Do you have any... Are those influences of yours at all? Those bands?
I guess I'll take that. Not directly, no. But what is an influence is the fact that being Russian, I already have and grown up with a lot of Nordic influence.
Sure.
So we've got one of the main conceptual kind of plot lines in the album is the story of the Varyag Mstislav, who and Varyags obviously were Nordic ancestors of Russians.
Nice. Thanks for explaining that.
Right. So they're the ones that I believe came to Nizhny Novgorod and settled from there, and basically had a big influx into Kievan Rus in like the early 1700s or 700s rather, something like that. So I really did want to capture that part of our identity and my identity and my kind of culture and what I grew up with. And a lot of it is kind of staying today in pagan tradition in Russia. And so it was really cool because when I was young, I was lucky enough to have some really interesting experiences with pagan worship and like pagan, really, really old pagan traditions. I traveled with my grandparents to this really, really small village very close to Nizhny Novgorod in Russia, where the people that live there live completely isolated. Russian roads are terrible, so they don't get much traffic.
They're just there, right?
They're just kind of there living off the land. And,
wow!
And we had some relatives there that we decided to visit one of these at that point. And so what they had were basically this pagan worship and various traditions that they've continued for hundreds and who knows how many years. And I was very little at the time, but it really struck me, and I haven't really let go of that thought since. Because they were so passionate about it. It was basically a core aspect of their existence. And it was so interesting, too, to kind of pick up on that as I grew older and find out where that came from and where this originated. So when I wrote the lyrics, I was trying to honor kind of the memory of that and honor those people that keep those traditions alive and kind of revisit that source of strength for my own culture, the Slavic culture. And I think it worked quite well. I mean, a lot of the bands that you mentioned probably came from very similar backgrounds. Obviously, if they're Swedish or Finnish or from Norway, they share a lot of the same roots, partially the same myths as Slavic myths. There's quite a lot of overlap. So the lyrics would be pretty much similar as well.
Right, yeah. We're all actually influenced by pagan traditions. We don't realize it. So there's a lot of... paganism was a very, very, very popular... I mean, obviously, it's still active in parts of the world, but... it was very, very popular and influenced a lot of Christian traditions. Christmas was a pagan holiday that was rebranded for Catholicism, and so paganism. Yeah, I find it very fascinating because it has an influence on our culture, even here in North America, and you don't even realize it. So maybe not. It's probably been diluted and morphed and changed, and it's not even the same thing anymore. But there are certain things that probably are still kind of are influenced by that. So it's kind of fascinating. Okay, let's listen to some music. We've chatted so much, you guys. We got 10 people on the chat. Hi, everybody. If you have any other questions for Red Cain, Yevgeny loves answering questions, and Taylor. Anyone have a question for Taylor? Taylor's been quiet so far, so he's sitting there with his gaming headset. He's smiling. He's got a great smile, by the way. Thanks. Okay, here's from Ancient Relic Music. Thanks for sharing, Evgeny. Very cool. I know there was a reason I was reminded of those bands while you were talking. Very awesome. Cool. Very cool.
Good question.
All right, let's check out the... Okay, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to run through the tracks in the album. We're going to listen to primarily the ones you have visualizers for, so videos for, so we have something to look at while we're listening to it. But we'll go in the order they actually are in the album. That's what I decided to do. And the album opens off with a bang with the song Kindred, obviously the title track of the album. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of a listen, and then once we listen to a bit of it, I'm going to pause. I have some of my own notes, my own impressions, and then I want to hear a little bit from you guys as well about this song. And Taylor, if you can think of anything to say, I'm assuming... Actually, here's a question for you, Taylor. Do you do you write the drum parts to the songs? Like when you get the or do you change things up a bit? Do you add your own influence into the drumming parts of the songs? I'm saying that right?
I'd say each song has a bit of a different story to it like that. Sometimes Jack would have written something up that he originally had written, or I would have had something cool on terms of drums that we may have turned into a song.
Oh, okay.
Each song, it was a little bit different.
Oh, wow. So sometimes
like
the song...
Kindred, it was definitely a little bit Jack. Sorry about that.
No, go for it. We're going to keep stepping... I always remember there's a delay with Skype. So some songs... the inception of them was your drumming. It was something you wrote.
More in terms of what's going to be coming out next, and maybe a little bit of Wing of the Crow. A little bit also was a bit of my drums as well. Nice. Okay, well let's hear it. So Kindred, we're going to take a listen to it. Kindred, let's pull this up here. We have Kindred, the first track on Kindred Act 2. Again, the album drops this Friday. You're going to want to check it out. It's also Bandcamp Friday, so go support these guys on Bandcamp. That's where you're going to want to purchase it. And they get more of the Bandcamp does not take a cut on Fridays. Are they still doing that, right, guys?
Yeah, I think they are.
Bandcamp Fridays are still a thing.
I think it's a consistent thing they're still doing, yeah.
Yeah, and they're also making it easier for people to, easier for bands to press vinyl, too. They have a new vinyl pressing program. So Bandcamp is doing a lot to help support artists. So, a really good post recently, I'm just going to share this really quickly with folks, is that treat Spotify like the radio and treat Bandcamp like actually supporting the artist, buying buying media, you can buy merch there, you can buy physical copies, you can buy digital. Bandcamp is the way you support the artists, and Spotify is just the radio. So realize that the artists get very, very little from Spotify plays. I think most people know that. So if you want to support a band, if you really love what they're doing, that's where to do it. Okay, awesome. Let's check out Kindred. Let's listen to a bit of it, and we'll chat in a bit.
Give up on the lights and no longer dream. Something reached and woke me up, and all is crumbling. Something's calling out to me. See what I have seen.
So let's talk a bit about this. So that is, when I'm talking about experimentation with your sound, it's not the first time you've ever done a little bit of growl, a little bit of harshness in your vocals. Not ever, but that's something specific that I haven't really heard before. Is that just your voice layered a bunch of times over, or how was that achieved to make your voice sound like that? Because it sounds pretty crazy.
You're going to hear it a lot more in songs like Baltic Fleet.
Right.
But the layering definitely plays a role. So that song is actually, Baltic Fleet is a good example of how the layering works, because I think there's at least 4 to 6 layers that the growls play into. It's something that I've done a lot live. It's not something that I've tried a lot on the albums aside from. So it was actually interesting to experiment there and see whether I could actually pull it off, and what kind of goes on behind the scenes to make it a unique noise. Because a lot of bands growl. I'm not going to be able to do it better the same way that name a band that growls does it.
Right.
But can we do it in a bit of a different way it's more our way?
It's unique. So. It's unique. It's not a typical death growl. It's not a typical guttural vocal. It's got this. You're singing at your high top part of your range, and you're singing in a low. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's definitely a unique way of doing that kind of vocal. Yasharitz in the chat says sick AF. So that was sick AF. We're gonna listen to more of it because that was just a little preview. Oh, and Jason says as well, Bandcamp Friday is only the first Friday of the month. So I got got that wrong. Only the first Friday of the month is Bandcamp Friday. Not to say you shouldn't grab the album when it releases this Friday, but that is a good thing to know. Bandcamp Friday is when the artists get more of a cut. Bandcamp doesn't take any cuts whatsoever from the proceeds. Ancient Relic Music. Don't stop it. Lol, so epic already. Okay, we're gonna listen for a bit longer before we pause it again. We're gonna give it a look.
One more thing to add about Kindred though, really quickly, would be that it is probably the one song on the album that we did work on quite a while before the other ones. This is one that we probably actually were working on during the first album. Wow. So we did have a lot of input from Brendan on this song in terms of guitars in particular too.
Right. Okay.
You do the guitars in this song. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And it was also this is the one track that Sasha still mixed on this album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't.
But you can't tell.
I can't tell. I can't tell. I could tell on the old album. I could tell on the old album the differences, but I cannot tell on this album at all. Okay, let's play it. It's already epic, and we're going to stop interrupting it for a little bit because we have some folks watching. That's okay. We have some folks watching. They want to hear more. That's a good thing, though. Okay, that sounds a little Sasha right there.
I mean, okay, I want to say something else.
Sure.
Every time I listen to the song, I kind of always forget because we've listened to the song so many times.
Right.
But holy shit, Taylor's drums are good in this track.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
it does feel like it's been so long since I worked on it, though.
Yeah, it is.
It is definitely one of my favorite tracks to have worked on in terms of drums.
Yeah, I like how such a unassuming friendly dude with this kindest smile in the world is just such a badass drummer. Because I totally agree with Evgeny's comment.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and I mean Taylor's right. He can probably talk a lot about this song too, and
sure.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, you probably should.
But this is like one of the first songs that was written for this Kindred saga,
right.
Or at least in its first inception. I think it was actually the first kind of skeleton track that I threw together before any of the other songs were even done.
Oh, wow.
But it went through so many changes and iterations. Anyway, Taylor, you can talk about it probably as much as I can.
Maybe after we let him listen to almost the rest of it.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, well, let's do a little bit more. Oh, we might get through the entire song. We'll get through most of it. Yeah. So whose guitar work is that there in that solo?
That is Brendan.
That is Brendan. Wow. That is, I like it. I like it a lot. That's pretty impressive.
He's a great guitarist.
I mentioned before too, no fillers. Like this song at the beginning there, when it opened up, it just bam, Kindred Act 2. there's no epic build up. There's no like violins playing or synth or just like
the wait's been long enough already.
Yeah,
boom,
exactly.
boom, yeah. So we're about 3 minutes. I'm just gonna start that again. Like this is the start of their album. There's no intro, nothing. Just. boom, you're in. It's just like, boom, let's go. I actually really like that because you're already your heart's already pounding at the very beginning. You get no time to warm up, and I actually really like that. Holy shit. Okay. All right. All right. So I think that gives I just don't want to stop listening to it, but we're not going to have enough time in this interview if we just always sit here. This is actually awesome though. The fact that there's 10 people in the chat right now. Any questions for our guests? Oh damn! That part though says Yesheritz. Thanks for that in the chat. So we got some good.
I feel that.
Yeah. I feel it too. I got. But you know, how awesome is this that there's 10 folks watching right now. There's the 4 of us. We're all together during these crazy times, having a listening party with the band that's with the members of the band. Folks that have created this incredible music. This is cool. It's a listening party with some really cool creative people. So how often can you do that? It's a pretty cool experience. And again, happy birthday, Evgeny. I wish I could give you like a virtual cake or something. Yeah, for folks who just joined. For folks who just joined, it's Evgeny's birthday. So this is what he's doing for his birthday this year is the Wicked Wally webcast. So
it's pretty fucking awesome so far.
Yeah. And then Nate in the chat said that's really good. I want more. Okay, we are going to do more, and we're going to keep moving. So this is going to be like a listening party. If you have anything else to say, gentlemen, about this track, you speak now or forever hold your peace. I want to move on though to Demons.
Well, Brendan, killer work and guitar.
Right.
Brendan, if you're listening to this, he's in the US right now. He's got his own band.
Oh wow.
He's moved on to bigger,
Nashville.
Not sure, better things. I don't know.
Can you give him what's the name? Can you give a quick shout out?
I actually don't know. It's a project. It's like a personal project that he's just started, and I think he's played his first shows very recently. So really happy for him. He's a fantastic kind of like solo guitarist. And he's always wanted to do it that way. So
awesome.
He's breaking into the big country market of Nashville.
Yeah. So anyway, he did a fantastic job, and obviously Taylor fantastic
killed
job
it
with the drums.
Thank you.
And it was like the oldest song that we had written, pretty much. So
and it was the first thing I actually put input into, and for the band as well. Like pretty much the first couple of weeks I joined, we basically got given this, or Jack basically gave me the song and said, "Here, do what you want to do with the drums," basically.
Awesome.
Take the shit off my hands, make it better.
Yeah, and you must have been just so happy when you heard what he came up with. You must have been just so thrilled and be like, "Oh my god, this guy! We definitely got the right guy in the band." Probably after you heard that.
Okay, there's a funny story. I guess we'll move on to this one, but there's a funny story too. When we tried him out, he came in with this like, what was it, like an old drum kit?
Yeah, it was like my first ever kit I got.
Yeah,
I was 11 basically.
Wow.
He came in, and we were like, he was playing, and we're playing, and we're like rocking to it, and everything's going great.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, like let's step it up a notch, play harder. And so this guy destroyed his kit. Like,
it really fell apart.
That you got when you were 11 years old.
It wasn't
I'm
like the
sorry
most
for that,
expensive
Taylor.
kit, but it's like completely fell apart on like in the middle of a song.
And he was still good. He was keeping time and everything. So, midway we just stopped and we're like, man, don't worry about it. You're in the band. Like,
Good times.
Also very metal. All right, so we're going to move on to Demons. Folks, in the chat, we have Jason said, somebody Uber Eats that dude a cake. And Yasser Eats has some sort of a chin-scratching emoji, like, hey, that's a good idea. I think that is a good idea. All right, we're going to listen to this is the next track on the album. They have a visualizer for it. This is a track, Demons. Originally, I said this was my favorite track. Now it's changed, only because it's very bouncy. It's sort of it's got a bouncy head bobbing kind of synth to it. It's got very traditional goth rock elements. I find this song, and then I want to pause it in a bit and talk a little bit about the lyrics in this. I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly where this comes up, but there's some really interesting topics in this, and I wanted to ask Evgeny about it. But anyway, let's take a listen. Bouncy metal. Is that like the new gent? Actually, Jason, there is one of their tracks where I did hear some gent influence, and I'm going to talk about that later. There's a little bit. So it's interesting. It's sort of like it's still quintessential Red Cain, but then you've like dropped in like little sprinkles of these different elements that are not really what you'd call your typical genre, what you guys usually do. And it's so interesting. He makes the album so interesting. Anyway, Demons, bouncy metal. You'll hear what I'm talking about. All right, that's the part I wanted to talk about. Those names, I did a little bit of, I looked into that. That part of the song, for whatever reason, just really stuck out to me. I'm like, okay, who's Lilith? Who's Morrigan? Who's Nama? Who's Morana? What is this? What is he talking about? What is he singing about? And it's actually, correct me if I'm wrong, references to Genesis and the Bible. Is that correct, Evgeny?
Not entirely. So
not entirely? Okay.
Part of it does, but this is naming 4 major female demons throughout.
And they're just happen to be named after these biblical characters? Is that?
No. So basically, you have the 4 demons, right? So you've got Lilith. Lilith obviously is directly lifted from the Bible. She's supposed to be the essentially like kind of the progenitor of sin. She's supposed to be the one who corrupted Adam.
Okay.
And the mother of female demons, people call her a lot. She's a very kind of traditional biblical figure. So she's one. Then you've got Morrigan, who is from the Celtic mythology. She's the same goddess kind of death and of fate that we talked about in Wing of the Crow, that we had Cobra from Cobra and the Lotus personify in that song. Nama is another Jewish female demon who's kind of like a succubus sort of demon, but she figures in a lot of that kind of folklore. And then Morana is a Slavic goddess of death, who is also, I guess, retroactively known as a demoness through the kind of Christian tradition of making pagan gods into demons.
So they're all in there. Everyone's in there. It's a party. It's no discrimination on religion here. It's a party of all different faiths.
Yeah, I mean,
the demons are there.
It is,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
The story behind the song is basically about this. It's St. Petersburg. It's the 1800s. It's the Victorian era. People are experimenting with all kinds of weird stuff, kind of like what we were doing with music. And so this guy has gotten a hold of an ancient manuscript, and he's trying to summon and raise these major female demons from history from this manuscript to grant him power, to grant him, whatever. It's kind of like the generic story of trying to get power from that, but he gets a lot more than he bargained for. And so the entire kind of song is about his attempt to do this and his ultimate failure and kind of what happens in between.
More than you bargained for, like a monkey's paw thing. You get what you wish for, but then it's there's a twist to it. There's an evil twist to it, right?
No, he's pretty ambitious. I mean, he's not summoning just one; he's trying to get four.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
And in the same room type of thing.
And I mentioned that bouncy Sith. Tyler, was that your choice, or how did that get onto the album?
The synth elements definitely would have been Jack bringing those in.
Oh, okay.
I think this one, there was a lot less influence of mine in this song, except for the guitar solo.
Solo. Okay, we're gonna check. We'll make sure we get to the solo so we can check that out. You can talk about that then. So then, Jack, are you playing this on keyboard? Is that how you do this? Are you actually playing the synths?
I mean, I can, but I probably wouldn't be as good.
Okay.
I can play it, and that's how I originally came up with it, but I didn't record it through a keyboard.
Gotcha.
It's programmed.
No, that's fair. That's fine because you don't play live. You don't play live either. You're not known as a keyboardist.
No, we use backing tracks for that, right?
But you've written all that, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I've really been pushing him to play live a lot more, though.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting. Maybe a specific song or something where, it would be kind of interesting to see you pull out a keyboard and start playing. Maybe a guitar.
Well, I used to play rhythm guitars when this band was first formed.
Right.
If you do some deep digging on YouTube, you can find it.
Yeah, you can probably find it. But there's people that are way better than me at guitars now, so I just do my vocals.
Vocals and the writing, yeah.
And the writing, yeah.
I think my favorite part's coming up. After that, yes. There's some Tyler Corbett guitar magic, right?
Absolutely. And I have a story about this too.
Okay.
So I wrote, we had the song basically ready when you did the solo. And I kind of had in my head the idea of what the solo should sound like, but I couldn't really phrase it. And I remember talking to Tyler, and I was like, hey, dude, can you just write like a very high flare, very fluid, kind of like super 80s catchy solo.
Right.
And I kind of left it at that. And I was like, all right, we'll do a few back and forth and we'll figure it out eventually. And he comes back like literally the next day and with this solo. Literally this solo. And I listened to it and I had to stop the song and I was like, holy fuck, this is exactly what I asked for. So yeah, I mean, this is part of the reason why I think we owe a lot to Tyler for the way this album sounds, because we him and I, when we wrote, we were somehow on the same page, close enough where we could throw things back and forth, and then without too much editing and re-editing, just come up with things like this. Pretty sick.
Right. Tyler, you are very good at doing that because the Wicked Wally theme song, I commissioned Tyler to do it. So, if you want something to sound like something, I'm not a musician at all. I'm just a fan. I love the music and I'm interested in it. But I had an idea what I wanted. I kind of had an example of another kind of, there was a YouTuber, he had an intro, kind of what I wanted. And I had a couple other little requests. And then what is it? Not even a couple days later, he comes out with, he's like, okay, yeah, this is my first draft. This is the first draft. Let me know if you want me to change anything. And I'm just like, it's just exactly what I asked for.
Tyler doesn't do first drafts.
It's exactly what I asked for. So you did such an awesome job on it, man. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And you are a musician, so it's probably even better. You can probably communicate with me even better than I can. But I got exactly what I wanted. I'm not a musician, so yes, Tyler is definitely someone you want to reach out to. Tyler Corbett Music, is that your?
Yeah, I mean, probably if anyone really wants to get a hold, I guess. Just Tyler Corbett on Facebook Messenger. I don't actually really go on Facebook itself these days, but or Instagram. I think I'm on there as like Tyler JT Corbett on Instagram. All
right, yeah, track him down. That's awesome. And then track him down. You have to hunt him down if you want to work with him. Ask Wally. He can put you in touch with Tyler if you can't find him. One thing I want to mention too, we didn't get to it yet, but there's one part of the song, the lyrics are, and this is interesting, I don't know if you're breaking the fourth wall here, but I really like these lyrics. It's night in night, 1 to 7, turn the heavy metal up to 11. So
I was anticipating that we'd be on this show and we'd be listening to songs. So.
The reason I love that, and you probably might remember why. On my old radio show, once per episode, I'd play the heaviest stuff of the episode. I'd play like 3 or 4 songs of like brutal death metal or black metal, or that's when I would play the craziest stuff. I'd kind of give the audience a warning. This is going to get super heavy, and then we're going to go back to more melodic stuff and stuff that's a little bit more digestible. And I always would play the clip from Spinal Tap, turn it up to 11. So then I heard this song, and that's probably why it instantly became my favorite, because it's like, oh, hey, it feels like they're singing right to me. The word, join our wicked game. There's the word wicked in there, and it talks about turning it up to 11, and it reminded me of my old my old show and stuff. And it was
a fun song to write. Like for me, lyrically, I got to play around with all kinds of stuff that it would have been like not serious enough for the other songs, but for this one, given that it's gothic rock, it's a bit tongue in cheek. It's still contributes to the story, but it's bouncy, like you said. And my background is in gothic rock. Like I love goth rock, 69 Eyes, Hymn,
right.
Quran, Sisters of Mercy, Typo Negative, all that stuff. Like it was my bread and butter. I grew up on that. So every album, we usually have a song where that just like comes through fully.
Yeah, this is the most goth rock song on the album. I like it too, though. I enjoy a little goth rock. So that's definitely up my alley too. So the next track on the album is not one of the videos you've released. So we're not going to really dive. We're not going to really listen to a lot of it, but I did want to talk a bit about it. It's the song "Precipice of Man." Mm-hmm. And for me, this is a standout track on the album, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Yes. So there you go. Hey, Taylor agrees with me. Thanks, man. To me, this is the standout track on the album. And the reason why is I think, first, it takes the most risks in terms of what people are used to from Red Cain. It's the most risky track. I'm actually, so I first heard the song. I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I just want to play just a tiny bit of the beginning, just so people know what I'm talking about. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. You guys are okay with it? It's never been released. Never been released before.
No, go for it.
Okay.
There's like 2 days left. It's fine.
That's true. That's true.
Talk about without hearing it.
Yeah. Already so different. Okay, wait for it. So that's brave. That is brave to try a falsetto like that and just go for it, because every other Red Cain song is like, I am Yevgeny and I am singing. You know, it's very very masculine, very strong, very warrior, and to me, was it like, and we have to listen to the whole song, because when I first heard that, I'm like, okay, I have to show this to you guys. This is what I thought of when I first heard that, and this is the standout track of the album. I really enjoy this song, and the more I listen to it, the more I love it. It might even be my favorite track on the album. But when
oh, that's from The Simpsons. That's Mr. Burns.
So this. Sorry, this is gonna seem like a backhanded compliment, but this is the first thing I honestly thought of when I heard this. And yes, I do love this song. I'm not shitting you.
I bring you love. It's bringing love. Don't let it get away.
Okay. Anyway, so because it's that you know, that kind of falsetto. Whoever did the voice acting for that, but there you go. So okay. And then the other part of this with your vocals, it was another, I think, experimental thing. I think where is it? Right at the
it's around the 2/3 mark, I think. If you're talking about the Latin chants.
No. Yes, I have that. There's that too. I'm going a little bit further. I think it's maybe at the minute mark. Hold on, let me just. This.
From the deep, the sound rises up, a call.
So there's that part there. I've never heard you sing like that on an album before. You just, it's so sweet and smooth. And I'm talking about the falsetto, but I'm talking about when you drop down from that. Yeah. It sounds like a typical power metal vocal. I was very impressed when I heard it. The goth, it's almost like because it's a style, the goth rock kind of vocal styling that you have, Yevgeny. It's a style that you choose to use to express yourself in your music, but you drop the goth rock completely. It's really interesting. I at first I was wondering if it was actually you, but I'm like, no, it's got to be him. So
you're not the only one. People have asked me if it was actually me doing it, but yeah. The thinking was kind of, it was similar to what you said. I intentionally put that song next after Demons, which was the quintessential goth rock kind of baritone,
right?
You know, that kind of song. And I think I wanted to kind of surprise the listeners. And the reason I wanted to try that was, well, for one, as a vocalist, you have to always progress. So I'm looking for ways to improve. I'm looking for ways to try to increase my ability to sing and try new stuff and challenge myself and challenge the people that listen to me. So falsetto is something that I've been working on behind the scenes for a little while. And I do it in some of the other songs, like in All This Violence in the previous album, there was a bit of falsetto.
Yep.
And it's something that I've really wanted to really pull out, and I was able to do it in this song. But I also wanted to go for a totally different feel when I wrote this track. And part of the reason was that as compared to the last album was dark. Like, it was thematically dark. It was musically dark. It was kind of like
dour.
The night side of this entire what is it? Two album concept. Whereas this album was supposed to be the sun side, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Thematically, the sun doesn't always bring positivity. It can burn, all this kind of stuff. But really, there's a redemptive element of it that wasn't present in the last album, and this song is pretty emblematic of it. There's also kind of an interesting tidbit too. When I was writing this, I was playing Bloodborne, and it's got kind of like something about that game captures me quite a lot. As a fan of Lovecraft and as a fan of like this very despondent, kind of like sad, dark world where you can't find redemption. And if you do find any kind of redemption or light somewhere, even if it's a little bit, it's magnified to such an extent because the backdrop is so kind of evil and hopeless. And so in this song, I took that concept and ran with it and tried to make it like expand it even more. And it does come through in a lot of the areas where it's like almost very uplifting, like almost too uplifting. There's a couple of parts where you're listening to it and you're like, holy shit. Like, I was listening to it myself a couple of times after it was recorded, and I was like, holy shit, did I go overboard with this? But ultimately,
not. This is a perfect time to release an uplifting album, Evgeny. This is the best time. It's the best time to release an uplifting album. And there are other tracks on the album that also kind of have that uplifting kind of. And I like that. There's a song a bit later in the album. We're gonna check it out. It's almost like a warrior song. So I don't know, or maybe it's not on the ones. It's on the album anyway.
It should be, yeah.
So then the thing is, we're listening to little snippets of this song, and folks are going to want to pick up the album. They're going to want to listen to it when it comes out and listen to this whole track start to finish. Give it a chance, because these little elements individually might not seem like they add up to something, but they really do. They really do, and it actually is really, again, this became my favorite song on the album. Surprisingly to me as well.
Awesome. It is made of very different elements that kind of add up together.
Yeah.
And I think, again, Tyler played a big role in this one too. And we talked a lot about this when we were going to mix and write things for this particular song, because we both love kind of like that ambient post-rock feel.
Right.
And so the chance to do it in this song, like I gave Tyler a lot of stuff, and he put a lot of things that are very subtle into that track to make it sound like that and to make it have that feel. I don't know if you want to talk about it, Tyler, but you did a hell of a lot of work there.
Yeah. This one, it was. I remember the first demo that you sent me. It was. I got really excited about mixing it just because, like you said, it's that whole like ambient post-rock vibe, which I haven't done a whole lot of work with.
Yeah.
But I've always loved it. I just love ambience and reverb and delays and stuff. And this was a perfect song to really kind of just dive into it. But at the same time, it's interesting because it's that, but the song it just builds into something different throughout. Like the end of the song is not even close to what the beginning of the song sounds like.
No, not even close.
Works.
So I wanted to, at the 2-minute mark here, I want to play a little bit of this. There's this. I think this is probably where the chanting is, or at least when where it picks up. Yeah, it's this heavy down-tuned guitar just jumps in here. And here, Jason, if you're still watching, Jason's in the chat talking about Gent. So if you're in the chat, I want to hear messages from you. This is where I hear this guitar work sounds a little bit. I hear a little bit of that kind of Gent influence, and I could be wrong because I'm not a musician, but right here. Oops, sorry. Yes, that's the same song, believe it or not. I didn't switch tracks. That's the exact same song we were listening to. And then it's just this really deep, heavy guitar. And then later on, there's chanting and, and then Ancient Relic Music said, yes, there's Tesseract influence he hears. So maybe it's not just me. Am I on the right track?
I think some. I definitely listen to Tesseract. I think Tyler listens to Tesseract.
Yeah, they're one of my faves for sure.
Yeah, okay, there we go. So maybe that came through. So like falsetto. Also, those I'll call them your cleaner vocals because you have clean vocals, but that soft, clean vocal after the falsetto, I would totally up to you, but as a fan, I would like to hear a little more of that mixed in like future songs. I think that's pretty cool.
I think I'm gonna try it, yeah. Well, okay, so where it comes from, I think partially is one of my vocal kind of like idols, I guess, as vocalist is Roy Khan, ex-Camelot Conception.
Nice.
And,
Yep.
He's a master at doing this kind of transition into from really powerful, sometimes even like almost guttural vocals
to a softer,
to something very soft. Yeah, he's a master at falsetto.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So something like that is definitely coming up in our future work.
Yeah. So like I said, after there's the falsetto, and then you kind of drop, and there's that really sweet part that doesn't even sound like you. It's pretty cool, and it would add a lot of variety, I think, to future songs. That vocal styling.
I'll take it with it for sure.
Just think about, I don't. So enough of that. We actually got to keep moving. We've been talking for a bit. Hey, another viewer in the chat. How's it going? How's your night going? This is a listening party. We're checking out Red Cain's brand new album. It's Kindred Act 2 coming out this Friday. Get it wherever you get your music. Support them on Bandcamp. That's Lenny from The Simpsons, but we're going to listen to some more Red Cain. We're going to listen to Baltic Fleet. So Here we go. Okay, so immediately, okay. The track the previous track on the album, okay, it's fine. Precipice of Man, it's softer, it gets heavier, takes you on a journey, but there's softer elements. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, wake up, because this is like, there's like a little bit, but right away. Hold on, it's coming, it's coming. Baltic Fleet, right away.
What I look like.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the reaction that we were looking for. Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I saw some posts from you guys, and I'm going to tease you and compliment you at the exact same time, if that's okay. The post says, this is Red Cain's attempt to make a black metal song. Or something of that nature. It mentioned black metal. Definitely not black metal, but there are elements there. The blast beat, the drums, the blast beat drums, right? Taylor, what you're doing there on the drums, that's definitely indicative of black metal. And then some of the vocals a bit later on, because right now you're singing in your typical kind of goth rock, heavy goth rock, evil goth rock style, Evgeny. And then it goes into this kind of harsh gang vocal, I would almost call it. That I could see why you took some influence from black metal. Was that, like, where did that come from to want to take black metal influence and kind of mix it with Red Cain? Because there's the influence. It's definitely not a black metal song, but there's some influence there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was tongue in cheek. There was a black metal song.
Okay.
And we all have very diverse influences. Like the shit we listen to can't really be confined to a genre. Yeah. I think most people that listen to music.
Who's the black metal guy in Red Cain?
I don't know. Do we have a black metal guy?
No.
I love black metal.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Although the song isn't truly a black metal song.
No.
I think the vibe behind it was leaning toward in that direction. You know, what I love about black metal is the atmosphere that it creates. There's fast drums and whatever and yelling, but to me it's like just the atmosphere. Like when you listen to it, it feels dark and sorrowful, and that's kind of the atmosphere we were going for with this song. So
any black metal fans in the chat? I'm curious. Go ahead, Tyler. Sorry. I was just asking if there's any black metal fans in the chat, because I'm talking to the audience as well. Go ahead, Tyler. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, just so we just, I mean, on the surface level, it's not black metal, you know, as you'd listen to it from like Mayhem or whatever, but
sure,
just the gut feeling and the atmosphere that it creates around you is that dark. Yep. Kind of
totally.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It's the darkest track on the album by far. So
it is.
Yeah.
And I think, again, tongue in cheek, there were a lot of times that we would joke, you know, with these guys sometimes, and before we used to joke, we're like, you know, we're not cult enough as a band. We try too hard. We're too overproduced. Like we need to record in the basement on like shitty speakers and and you know, like this is kind of a joke on that. Not to take anything away from the bands that did that, because I personally do respect a ton the bands that started doing this way back when with you know, with the actual black metal. So this is not a knock on the genre whatsoever.
It became the aesthetic of black metal forever. As it can't sound too good, or it's just not black metal. Yeah, if it's overproduced, then you're not black metal anymore, right? So yeah.
So by definition, you're not black.
It's not true.
I don't agree with that. I actually like overproduced. I don't. Maybe I'm probably not the best black metal guy, but I like the overproduced.
Have their own things that make them great.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, to say that Behemoth, for example, isn't overproduced.
They're not black metal anymore, in my opinion.
No,
they were when they first started. Behemoth is death metal now.
Yeah, I guess you could say this is more. It's more in that realm, like the black and death metal.
Death.
It's more in that.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I was influenced when I was writing this by stuff like Dissection, you know, old Dimmu Borgir.
Right. I want folks to hear the that gang vocal, so that's coming up pretty soon here. I want to hear what I'm talking about, kind of the darker vocal, which is the majority of the track has that. So it's kind of, it is definitely a heavier track from you guys. There you go. Yevgeny, is that something you can reproduce live? That harsh vocal?
Yep.
Wow, that's
now I can. It took me actually the last album I was trying to do some of this similar kind of stuff live, and it was kind of getting there. But recording this, I practiced a ton, and so now I'm pretty confident that I could do it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's also an element.
I can confirm.
I want to. Yeah, that's also an element I want to hear more of in the music. I want to hear the softer, sweeter stuff, like just the variety, the experimentation in this album is just. Yeah, I know. It's like, what do you want, Wally? What the hell? Anyway, don't worry. Don't listen. Listen to your gut. Don't listen to me. But from the chat, Analog Universe says post black metal. Oh, here you have a comment. Post black metal is pretty great. Don't know how the post part would fit in with Red Cain's sound though. Nate in the chat says not much for pure black metal, but Black and Death is always good, and other black metal adjacent things are also good. So black and stuff. I do tend to.
That's the key word there. Black metal adjacent. I think we can call this track black
metal adjacent. There we go.
That's a closer, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Nate. So this is a great track. There's more to it, but I'm looking at the time here, guys, and everyone's still sticking around and watching. Thanks. We're going to keep moving, though, and talk more about the album and the other songs. So the next song on the album, I want to say, am I saying it right? Varyog and the Shrine. Am I saying that right?
Shrike.
Oh, I can't read because, sorry, my eyes are getting dry. My contacts are drying up. Varyog and the Shrike. There we go. Thank you for correcting the part that was easy to pronounce.
Yeah,
because I read it wrong. Yeah, so that's the next track we're going to check out. Okay, this song. Okay, the synth at the beginning. Who created that? Was that you, Evgeny? Or was that Tyler's influence at the very beginning of this?
Oh, that, yeah. So the synth, I think you did, right?
Yeah, that'd be, the synth, that would have been Jack, and then I just layered the guitar underneath it, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Both of you. I am mad at both of you because that's been stuck in my head for the past 3 frickin' days. I'll be washing dishes, or I'll be cleaning the house, or I'll be working. Because I work from home now. I'll be working on something. I'll be like, it's just in my head. It's all the time. I don't know.
With that too. I almost crashed my goddamn car when I was coming up with that because I was in an intersection and I got this in my head and I was like, well, fuck, I have to record this somehow. So I pulled out my phone and I was going like, driving somewhere. So yeah, I got it, but at the same time, it was a life and death experience.
Because I've been listening to luckily I've got a forwarded copy, advanced copy of the album. I've been listening to it, and that song, it just cuts right into that, and it just stuck in my head.
That's good. We want
all the time, and I like the album, but I hate the fact that because when something's stuck in your head, you have to listen to the whole song to get it out of your head. So it's an earworm for sure.
Folks, it's a marketing tactic that we're using. So
yeah, folks, you're gonna know what I mean right away. Here's an earworm. Oh, yeah. Nate was saying, really like this track, but it's a good excuse to check it out later. Talking about the last song. Really liked it, but yeah, a good excuse to check it out later. And that's what we're going to kind of do. We got to keep moving. We got some more stuff to get to in the show. But yeah, here's what the very beginning of this song, just the synth part, has been stuck in my head for the past 3 days. I don't even want to listen to it, but I like this song. Anyway, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Playing a guitar underneath like the kind of goodness.
Every winter.
Yeah. It's funny how that fits into like a 4/4 time signature, because it sounds like it's something weird, but it really isn't.
No, and that's also why it's catchy, because it's not weird timing. It's just
yeah.
Yeah. That's all I want to say about that song.
In this one too, I think.
Sorry, what were you saying, Evgeny?
The drums are cool in this one too.
Okay, okay. We'll Taylor. We'll listen to some of your drums. Let's.
You can throw the chorus on, because that chorus is like, I love that.
Do you know whereabouts it is in the track? About how far in?
Oh man, I don't know. Throw like a minute in maybe.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Here's a minute 14. Here we go. Right or no?
Yeah, getting in there. Yeah.
Getting there. See, with the guitar, it doesn't stick in my head as much.
Look around
Here
till
we
you
go.
see the blackened wings of destiny and it folds you, lift you up. Look around, savor this. It's a fight you won't miss. Your faith gone, so draw your weapon for the sun. We step up to the tributary stream of life eternal. Every day we turn to win this war. To
This is interesting because this is the first time that I layered so many vocal tracks in one part.
Oh, and the chorus coming up here? Or?
I don't know how many I layered, Tyler. I sent you like at least 8, if not more.
Okay. So there's going to be 8 of you here singing right away. Okay, we'll check it out.
Not in this part, the previous part.
Oh, the previous part.
The previous part, the chorus.
Oh, that we just. Oh, sorry. Okay, we just heard that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a choir of you.
Jax.
Jax. Evgeny.
Box.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so we're gonna keep moving here. The next song on the album, which is not a song that's been released yet, is Sons of Veils. Sons of Veils.
Velis.
Huh? Am I saying it wrong?
Yeah. It's
Velis?
Sons of Velis.
Velis. Sons of Velis.
Another older track on the album. I think this is one that I did some work on maybe a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly.
In the first rendition, yeah, this is quite old.
Yeah.
But it changed a lot. Again, it morphed into something
It's
totally
definitely progressed.
And Taylor, we can only see the kind of top of your head, so that's okay. No worries, man. That's awesome, dude. So this song, I guess we can cue up a little bit of it, but this is a song that's people are gonna love once they can actually listen to it, the whole thing in a couple of days. To me, this has a very folk metal vibe to it. It has folky elements to it, and the song lyrically is about. Let's see, it's most metal lyrics in this song, like. But 5 feet of cold steel is the only truth I need. I've been told by beasts below, hunger is the only way to go. Our enemies will feed our land. Like, it's like the decomposing bodies of our enemies are feeding the soil, and just this very battle song. It's like a battle song, and this is, and it's not. Again, this is. it's very cool. It's very cool, and the folk kind of folk elements I'm talking about. Let me play a little bit of it, if that's okay, guys. Let's see if I can. Maybe I'll just skip ahead a little bit. I'm not even going to try saying the title of the name of the song again, but we're going to listen to it.
I've been told by gods above that the world revolves around love, but I know that's falsehood. I've been told by beasts below, hunger is the only way to fall. Cold steel is the only truth I yield.
Yeah, like this is the most like it's just chanty, like it feels like a battle song. And like was there some Tyler's influence in there? I know Tyler's done some folky stuff in other projects. Did you like that whistling at the beginning, that kind of folky whistling, which you kind of hear more in the song too later on? Whose idea was that? And to put that into the track?
Yeah, honestly, basically all the ideas were Jack's throughout the album. I had a lot of help with like arranging parts and stuff, but all the parts were there for the most part.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think Tyler's being a little bit modest, because there are definitely parts that he added that elevated the songs quite a bit, and he's also pretty good at telling me when to not fuck around with stuff in the song that I was.
Okay.
In this particular song, the whistling. So there's actually a lot to decompress or deconstruct here, because I wanted to do a Slavic song, a song that had a Slavic feel.
Right.
And so the song positioned in the album is basically the climax where our hero's metaphorical army or whatever is riding toward the battle.
Right.
And so this is from the perspective of Sislav, who is like the Slavic kind of hero that Zalcoatl lives the life of. And so these guys are essentially like Varyak warriors on horseback who are riding toward their death, kind of Charge of the Light Brigade sort of scenario where they're fighting this great evil. And they're all like upbeat, and they're like, we're going to win sort of scenario. And part of the reason the lyrics came from a Russian saying by Alexander Nevsky, who was a Russian kind of like hero who beat the Swedes on Lake Ladoga, which is one of the biggest victories in kind of the medieval Russian era. That prevented Russia from being conquered by the Swedish Empire. And so he basically said that phrase in the pre-chorus, "He who comes with swords, by swords will be slain." And he was talking about the Russian land, as in, if you step on our land with a sword, that's the weapon that we're going to use to kill you. And so to me, and generally in Russian kind of folklore, it's a very powerful phrase that still is used to this day. And I felt it was a pretty good way to build the song around that kind of sentiment. And so I added a bunch of stuff in there, like the whistling was like Cossack whistling, because Cossacks, basically one of their things when they rode at the enemy, they whistled.
Oh.
Also these like whips. I forgot the exact name in Russian, but when they spun them, they also created this whistling noise, and it was supposed to be an intimidation tactic.
That's actually a fun intimidation tactic. Whistling. It sounds so innocuous and friendly, but it's like, it's like if you hear whistling, you're like, oh shit.
If you hear 1,000 horsemen whistling.
Right.
You can kind of hear something similar maybe in like soccer. A lot of fans seem to do that now.
Right.
Football.
Football. Yeah, definitely.
Transcended, to this day through the ages. Then there was stuff like those female vocals in the end, like the harmony in there. I think it's in like a pre-chorus. It's one of the parts that you just played. So the specific harmony in there is a harmony that I picked up from traditional Russian folk singing.
Nice.
So it sounds, like, to me at least, it sounds very Russian. And so it does give that kind of thing. And then, of course, the chorus and the lyrics. The chorus itself, it's a chorus that I've been sitting on for a long time. And it, to me at least, again, it suggests what I grew up on, like very melodic, very specific kind of Russian traditional vocal line almost.
Wait, did we hit the chorus yet? I'm having some.
Chorus yet? No, the chorus
no. Okay,
nice.
It's coming up. Okay, let's take a listen.
Swords will be slain. If you disturb our peace, we won't forget your name. We are the sons.
Here we go.
We are the warriors of old. We stand alone. We are the stories you've been told. Sun in the sky.
I love.
In front of us, hunting packs. We stand alone.
Yeah, you've got that
Now
like
that's another earworm. That's why I said folky. Like at the beginning, the whistling at the beginning, the chorus is so I good. Okay, I'm good at listening to music. I can hear things in music. That's good.
yeah, and we're good at writing it apparently since you
Yeah, yeah. You did a very good job. If you wanted a folk feel, and he says Russian folk music, you 100% got that. You've likely, I don't know if you've ever shared the same stage with Ravenous, Calgary's Ravenous.
Of course we did.
Yeah. You guys had. Oh yes, definitely. You played their album release party, didn't you? I was there. That was a great show. That was a fantastic show. I was there. If you ever do this song live and you play with those guys again, I think this would be a very cool song to have Rav join you with. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think this particular track, they're all about the, their songs are all about battle and war, and there's that folky element to it. So I think his vocals in this track with you, like even in a live setting, would just kind of blow people's minds. I think it would be a very, very cool collaboration if you ever wanted to do that. Just a thought.
Totally, and this song is kind of written to be good live, right? So,
Tyler,
we want to play this live. It would be awesome. It's a headbanger, right? Like it's got power, it's got groove, it's got good pacing.
Well, it's like listening to some. I can't think of any kind of folk metal band. I'm trying to think of a folk metal band right now. It's scratching my head. Sure, I've been to. I've been to folk metal shows before, and it's like some people are headbanging, some people are moshing, others are doing the polka, and they're like doing the do-si-do, and they're joining arms, and this kind of has that vibe to it. And again, it's I haven't heard anything like this in your music before, so awesome, and it fits, it works, and it sounds really, really cool. So good job. Anything else to say about that song? I want to move on to the very last track on the album.
I think this song has a little bit of backing vocals from me and Tyler in quite a few of the chanting parts.
Yeah, some chants.
Nice. So then live
and
go ahead.
We got to yell in Russian, even though we didn't know what we were saying.
Still don't.
It was super intimidating, but I don't know. It sounds pretty good at the track.
Evgeny, you could have made them say anything. Actually, it would have been funny.
Yeah. So in terms of things to try on the next album or whenever, these guys killed it. I think it was super cool. So if you ever want
Thank
to
you, Jack.
So are you going to be mic'd? Maybe you'll be mic'd up live, Taylor, and you'll help with the vocals on this when the songs play.
That's the plan.
Nice.
Yes.
That's super cool, dude. While playing the drums at the same time, singing and drumming, I've heard it's hard for some people to do, and some guys just master it. So
it has to come all down to muscle memory at that point. That's all you got to trust.
I trust you, Murray.
Oh, thank you.
Very cool. All right, the last track on the album. So we've got little previews of each, which is you're going to want to listen to the whole thing start to finish. Trust me, so folks who are still listening and watching, the best way to ingest and listen to Kindred Act 2 is start to each track can stand on its own, but you're going to want to give it a full listen through because it's just it's pretty wicked when you ingest the whole thing in one sitting. Okay. Next song, Sunshine. Sunshine, the last track on the album, and this is another banger. This is sort of it has a bit of, it's a little more traditional Red Cain, I think. It's kind of, you almost feel like you're ending the album off the same way you started, in a way. It's got that same kind of energy to it. And with this track, listening to the lyrics and looking at the lyrics, is this the final chapter? Is there 2 acts of Kindred and then we're done? Because this seems like a final finale to me. Or am I wrong?
No, I think you're right. It's very much a finale for this particular story arc.
Right,
in terms of
right.
the world of Kindred and all the characters, we'll see. But in this one, it's kind of like the beginning and the end of the entire arc are encapsulated in this one song, and the lyrics demonstrate that.
Gotcha. Yep. Awesome. Okay, let's check a bit of it out. Let's do this. Okay, I'm going to interrupt one more time. Who did these videos for you? The graphic videos and this?
It's 2 guys. I think they're called Stereo 27 Productions. Oh, are you talking about the art or the video itself?
Both, I guess.
So for the art, which is super cool, and I should call it out, there's a Polish artist called, his name is Piotr Jamroz. I reference him in all the videos and everything else.
Right.
He's sick. Super good. I think he also did the Sirens album cover. Is that correct?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Foundations cover is the same guy.
Nice. Okay, very cool.
Yeah. So him and I were talking. I liked his style, and then I asked him to do this entire series of images for each track on the album. So I sent him like sketches and descriptions of what I wanted where, and then he did his own interpretation.
Nice.
Absolutely killed it. Like,
yeah.
Super cool. And then we just got some other guys to put in the music video for this.
Sure.
Video.
Sure. Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then it calms down here and then at the end again, and it's like a lullaby. It's like a lullaby.
It's like a trademark Red Cain move at this point.
Sorry?
The calm before the storm sort of thing. I think we've done it in so many songs.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, this song is definitely has your signatures all over it. Like not as experimental as some other tracks, more just your standard sound. But that's kind of a cool thing you did. You started the album off that way, and you ended it that way, and in the middle is all of this kind of interesting stuff you've played with, and experimented with. So it's a very smart move, I think, in the way you arranged.
Tyler had a lot to do with this song, and I'm not allowed to talk about it because I think
sure.
the additions that he made and the way he played it really made it what it is. But I gotta say, like, I've got a secret crush. And my secret crush is Tyler's vibrato. And this song, when I heard that opening riff on his guitar, I was like, holy shit. Because I originally had no vibrato on that riff at all when I wrote it.
Oh, okay.
He made it with his vibrato, like his trademark vibrato in many ways. And I was like, God damn, like that's exactly what this song is. And I think a lot of the things that he did after and the changes that he added to this track, and this is the first one we recorded, actually. We started with this album.
I remember, this was the most involved for sure. I think I mean, we were both very, very into it for the whole album, but this was it, like you said, it was the first song, so we were just like so ready to go.
Nice.
And there was a lot more actual like one-on-one in-person collaboration on this song too, because obviously it was before COVID started.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
Yeah, and so that was nice. And Jack would like be over at my place while we're doing guitars and like coming up with ideas. And I think Taylor was over because the drums, they're programmed drums, but he would come over and give his ideas of how he wanted the drums to sound here and there, and so we can actually get it more sounding a little bit more like how he would actually play the parts.
Right.
I think this song has the most of that kind of stuff throughout it.
Cool.
I do remember doing a lot of the writing for that in between classes when I was going to college for a little bit, just before COVID hit.
Yeah, it was
a good time for us too. We were able to be in the same room to do this.
Yeah, that was BC.
BC,
yeah.
Before COVID. It won't be before Christ anymore. It'll be before COVID. BC. All right. I want to get to listen a little bit more of it, and I also like how the track it ends this way too. So this soft part, it ends that way, and I guess was that a conscious decision that you kind of wanted to just finally ease the listener down at the very end of the album?
Yes, because it's like a redemptive arc, right? So the ending is kind of it's bittersweet, but it's still very, very kind of positive. The message about the sun, and actually the vocals at the very end, I recorded way back when I was still like doing demos for this song.
Oh.
And that particular piece was so good, and we all agreed that it was so good that we just didn't change it. We threw it right back into this final track.
Here, I want to find the day by day part. There we go. There it is. Okay. It's nice to have a lyric video, so I can skip to the part I want. I love this part where you start talking about day by day. I don't know. This is another thing that's been stuck in my head this past couple days. So here. So yeah, and actually,
like this a lot.
That part I'm not angry. When it gets stuck in my head, I'm like day by day. That part actually is pretty good when it gets stuck in my head, when it comes back in my head. So I actually enjoy that quite a bit. Do you mind? I want to skip towards the end. Folks can definitely go check this out on their own too. Just kind of how it kind of sets you down. I don't know if I went too far. Yeah, and there's the acoustic guitar,
which is really cool. And that's all Tyler.
Yeah, good job, Tyler. And the flutes. There's more, but I'm going to cut it off just to tease people so they go and listen to it themselves. If they check it on YouTube or they buy the album when it drops this Friday or on a Bandcamp Friday, whenever they want to check it out. That's awesome. So that was our dissection of the entire album. I had some more stuff planned and stuff to ask you, some funny pictures to pull up. I'm gonna only pick one because this took a little bit longer than I expected, but it was fun. It was just fun to dive into all this. So I might have to have you on again, or maybe Evgeny and Taylor or one of you guys, have you guys on another time. Maybe you could just be as like kind of co-host and we'll pull up some of your stuff because we didn't get a chance to check out Juliet, which is an amazing music video you guys recorded this past year for a track that was released off Kindred Act 1, but the music video was released this summer. So definitely go check that out. Let's see. Is there anything I want to pull up that's in your social media? Okay, here we go. One photo. I like to pull up some stuff from social media. There's one photo I'll pull up and I'll ask you about it. And then I want to go into some reviews because there's some really cool bands that reached out to me. One from Indonesia and another guy. He's like college professor, and he started this project. He reached out to me, and I promised them I would play some of their tunes tonight, and I want to get you guys' opinion on it as well. But before we do that, let's do a social media. I'll pop one thing from your social media, and you can explain to me what's the story behind this.
This one. What's the story behind this?
Yeah, what's going on here? I'm gonna actually change
it. It's an apartment on like maybe like the 20th floor.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me what's going on here, because
Happy 2020. It must be New Year's or something like that a few years ago or something like that.
It may be a New Year's transformation for all of you. Happy 2020, my friends. Oh, little did we know what 2020 was going to bring. Happy 2020.
Exactly. That's 2020 in a nutshell there.
Armani Evgeny got a head start with that bona fide Disney princess hair.
Yeah, it was going to look like my hair was like Tyler's, so that's what you guys are in for in the next, I don't know, however long it takes.
To grow that long. Yeah. I got some more stuff I pull up. I don't know if it's cool with you guys. Oh, here we go. Ancient Relic Music said,
I'm okay to keep going. I don't know about you guys. Like, obviously we can finish whenever, but this is super fun. So.
Oh, okay. Fine. Yeah. I mean, folks in the chat, are you okay with an extra long show tonight? We still got folks watching, so we can do a bit of an extra long show tonight. Ancient Relic Music said, congratulations. Congratulations, Red Cain. What a fantastic album. Very creative, solid musicianship, great production. So that was, totally.
Thank you. That's on Instagram, so we're going to follow you back, and feel free to talk anytime if you have any other questions or comments, stuff like that.
Yeah, thanks for those comments. Awesome comments in the chat. Folks have been participating tonight, and that makes the show better. So thank you so much for that. The show is way better when you folks are joining us, because this is our virtual party. We can't go and party, so we can do a virtual party. So thanks for that. Yeah. Okay. Then maybe. Okay, you know what? Maybe we will check out the music video. I won't embarrass you as much on social media. I found some embarrassing things on there. I want to show you.
Very questionable.
I mean, it's on the band page, so I know it's fair game. It's not your personal. I won't dig through your personal accounts, but like if anything on the band page, my opinion is fair game. Okay. We can check out the music video, at least a bit of it, and you can kind of run me through what's going on. I'm actually, to be honest with you, slightly less prepared for this one. So,
no worries. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to be right back. In that case.
Yeah, you need a bio break? Yeah.
I need a bio break.
Yeah. It's a long show, so surprised I'm not good. I've been drinking this giant stein. We can say this big stein of water. It was like this full, and now it's like this full. I must have a pretty good bladder control over here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just shrink that because it's in this weird aspect ratio. For whatever reason, music videos in this weird aspect ratio are like, almost like, come on. It's good though. It's an artistic choice. What is this? I don't know what this aspect ratio is. This like
super wide.
Super wide. Okay, let's watch a little bit of this until Yevgeny gets back and we can chat a bit more. But this is a really great music video. This is for Juliet. This is the track for folks still watching here. We still have quite a few folks still watching. This is the song that was the YYC award-winning track. So Calgary Music Award-winning Best Metal Song of the Year 2017. So am I correct with that? Right?
I think our 2017 was Haraith, and this one got nominated in I think 2019.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got it wrong.
This one.
Oh,
That's
you
okay.
didn't. I got it wrong.
We won on 2017 with Haraith though.
Okay, this was just nominated. I apologize. So this is the YYC losing song. Sorry about that. Still an excellent track. It also features Daniel Loudon from a band called Benevolent Like Quietus. If you like the gothic elements of Red Cain's music, turn that up to 11. It's basically some very gothic, much more goth rock with some heavier elements, and it makes sense that you would have him guest vocaling on this track because he's he does that kind of gothic vocals. It kind of blends right in. You almost don't notice it's a different vocalist at points. But
in other news, there has been a two-vehicle crash near Sunshine last night as a car entered Highway 66 off Route 6 and collided with a southbound truck. As of early this morning, the cause of the crash remains under investigation. More information on the hour.
fading on this or what?
Oh yeah, the hair's shorter. That's for sure. Wait, are you wearing the same shirt? Or wait, no. Hold on.
I am indeed wearing the same shirt. It's a shirt from the video. This is like a museum-worthy relic, I guess. I don't know.
Was that intentional, or did you just happen to be wearing that shirt tonight?
I just happen to be wearing it. It's a really good shirt. I love it.
That's awesome.
What does it say? What does your shirt say? Opposite.
It says opposite direction, which is actually pretty interesting, given it's like a car movie with a car crash. So.
Oh, spoilers! Spoilers! Oh. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Another new era exclusive. Here is Red Cain with their latest track, Juliet.
Yeah, and shout out to Brendan as well. He's starring in this video as well as on guitars, I believe.
Yeah, he was killer in this video. Like, holy shit, he needs to, wherever he is in the US, he needs to try to get him some acting done.
I love his hair too, by the way. Beautiful, beautiful hair.
Totally.
Okay, there's got to be something behind this car. Whose vehicle is this? This I'm not a car guy. What model of vehicle? There's probably something in the chat. Is anyone in the chat? Give him a chance to say. Anyone in the chat know what model vehicle this is? Because I'm definitely not a car person. Sometimes I can pick up on things like this, but anyone in the chat know what model vehicle this is? First one who answers gets a free free merch when I finally release it in a month. It's a free T-shirt.
Can I
The key is, though, they need to say the exact year, make, and model of the vehicle.
There's an interesting story with the vehicle too, but I'll tell it later.
Oh, okay, sure.
I can tell it now if you want, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. What's the story behind the vehicle?
The story behind the vehicle is that we originally had something else for the video, and like 2 days before, we discovered that we weren't able to get it.
Okay.
So we were, of course, like, holy shit, because everything is booked. You know, like we got the equipment, we booked the area. There were like 10 people involved in this project, so we were like, we're gonna be screwed because we don't have a car. So I think I posted like anywhere, like fucking message boards, Facebook, until I found one guy on Kijiji who was selling this car. And so I went to his house and I managed to convince him to rent the car to us.
Okay.
Days. But the car wasn't in, like, it looks great, but it wasn't repaired since, 70 whatever year it was.
Whoa.
So I had to drive away Carstairs from Calgary and back, and then drive it around Carstairs for the shoot, which is a considerable amount of driving. And I was driving this fucking car, and I was like, it's going to explode. Like, the noises it was making and the way it was...
There's going to be an actual car accident in the video, yeah. not just a fake one.
The camera should be rolling, yeah. So,
yeah.
But it held up.
Nice. And I should mention as well, I'll pull this up here. I can zoom out a little bit, maybe. Oh, it's because I cut it off. This is a 7-time award-winning music video. Global Shorts winner 2020, Indie Film Fest, Best Editing, Best Production Design, Indie Film Fest, Best Cinematography, Best Music Video. Well, that's the best one. That's the top one there. Platinum Award, Best Music Video Independent Shorts Award, Bronze Award, Best Production Design Independent Shorts Award. This was done by the same studio or the same production company or crew, I guess, that did your music video for Zero as well, right?
It was.
Right, so that's also another really great music video, folks, to check out. Wulong Media?
Yeah.
Is that right?
So basically, we had two guys, Rick Zach.
Oh, it says there, yeah. Rick Zach and Young Ren? Ren?
Yeah, June Ren, yeah.
June Ren, sorry.
Super experienced guys, really good friends of ours, amazing at what they do. We lucked out into being able to work with them. June came all the way from Shanghai.
Wow.
To film this video.
Whoa.
He didn't directly, he went to New York, and from New York he flew here. So, yeah, we got lucky to have them, honestly.
Wow.
So it was kind of a labor of love. And I mean, these guys, I could probably talk for hours about this video. I'm sure Taylor can as well. I'm sure you should comment way more than I should in this video.
It was a fun couple of days. It was like at least a 3 or 4 day project that we did over at least 12-hour days each day out there at the farm at Carstairs. I honestly don't really know what else to say.
It's good to hear that, because I've asked other folks about music videos, because they look amazing, but they're a lot of work, and I'm sure there's things that are like kind of a pain as well, right? And everyone always has something to kind of say, that at least something to complain about, like, oh, there was bird poop all over or something.
There was a lot of bees. There was bees inside of the trailer that they had all their food in, and they was like, oh yeah, just don't mind the bees.
Yeah, there's a bee. We had to film some scenes when it was light outside and dark and other times. So we had to work throughout the day and finish things at the right times.
Sure.
And the last day we almost didn't finish. Like, we were filming, it was pouring rain.
Oh,
we were filming one of the scenes.
Really foggy too.
Yeah. And so we had to keep the fires lit in one of the scenes. And it was like pouring rain, and I was on the ground, and it was like, yeah. But it was I guess the biggest takeaway that I got was, if you're a skilled cinematographer, even with a low, kind of fairly like shoestring budget, this wasn't shoestring, but it was fairly low for a movie like this.
Right.
With trickery and with various things that these guys were able to help us with, this video would not have happened without them. And you can do all kinds of stuff, just like with camera angles and I think in Zero, you're not going to show it, but in Zero we have this massive statue of Osiris. And the statue in reality was like 5 inches tall.
Oh,
so we had to construct a specific like device and like a ladder at a specific height, and then just do it perspective essentially and film it that way.
Like in camera, forced perspective. That's pretty cool. That's like old school movie techniques. That's what long time ago what filmmakers used to do in order to like achieve those kinds of effects. So for a lower budget, you do the exact same thing. And yeah, the music videos look like they don't look cheap. At all. They don't look cheap at all. Like, and I'm not saying low budget doesn't mean cheap, but I'm just saying they look like a lot of money went into them. So yeah.
Exactly what you said. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but I think it's good to make. Like, these guys are old school, and part of the reason that this works, and the fact that we're able to get the awards and everything else, is because they did this the old school way. So it took us more time, and it took us a lot more kind of like grinding to get there, and constructing things and not relying on CGI. But the experience itself was amazing, and the result clearly still works old school. So it was kind of like really authentic, and that was at least my favorite part about doing this whole process of the music video.
I might have a photo somewhere, but yeah, the camera rig. You actually have the camera rig on the front of this vehicle, and so you're actually driving in this scene.
Yes.
See, that's also something. You're talking about Hollywood. It's always like there's like a rig, and like there's either there's someone in the passenger seat driving instead, or there's someone in the back driving that's hidden, or there's a rig where they're not even driving at all, or it's all green screen. It's very rare the actors are actually driving the vehicle. So this is
doing all his own stunts.
Yeah.
The camera was sitting in the back seat, by the way. He was lying down and filming from a different perspective as we were driving.
Wow. So. That's pretty cool.
Both vehicles.
So everyone's lives were in your hand, Evgeny. Jack,
it was a lot of power. I enjoyed it.
Okay, let's play for a bit. We've talked a lot about it. Let's watch it for a bit. Was that little sticky guy, that little springy thing on the dashboard, was it there when you rented it, or did you guys put that on there?
We put that on there. And this is why I love talking about this, because the attention to detail in this is actually insane. So we intentionally picked up this little dude to provide like a hint of there's going to be a monster in here.
Oh, foreshadowing.
And if you notice in a couple of scenes, his arms are wide, but as the movie progresses, in some of the later scenes, he's like covering his eyes with his arms.
Didn't notice that. Okay, cool. Very cool.
I was there and I didn't notice it either.
That's why you can rewatch it like a million times.
That's cool.
gently whine for death.
We bought bugs for this scene, by the way.
Sorry, what were you saying?
We bought a bunch of giant blue caterpillars at the pet store for this scene.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you can see it, but when she's lying on the ground, she's covered in these caterpillars. They're
Oh, okay. Let's go back.
places.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Those are just like toys, like little...
No, they're real.
No?
They're real.
Oh, they're real caterpillars. Oh, you went to the... you actually bought real caterpillars from like the pet store. That's pretty cool. So, and the actress here, is this a professional? Is this a friend of yours, or who is this?
It's now my
friend.
wife.
It's not your wife?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. That's very cool. That's very cool. Wait, now your wife? Did you meet her during the shooting of the video, or? Oh, okay.
Fiance at the time,
Your
but
fiance.
after I saw her in this video, I decided that it was time to marry her. So.
Set a date.
This is probably my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Well, yeah, because you have the other two vehicles. One vehicle with you and shoot, what's his name again?
Brendan.
Brendan. Sorry, you and Brendan in the one vehicle, and then you have the other vehicle with the other band members. Why is this your favorite scene coming up?
Well, it's because in our vehicle we're all like serious and tragic, and everything is like.
Oh, right.
But these guys are just having fun, and it looks super authentic because they were actually having fun.
Yeah, it was a fun day.
Stuff. I don't know, Taylor, you can talk about it. You guys absolutely killed it.
Yeah, we basically just actually crashed a couple beers before that, and just went out on the road and got told to basically look like we're having a good time.
Wait, was the person driving? Did the person driving have a couple beers as well?
Driving, but Noah was driving for a lot of the scenes, I believe. It was a nice Toyota Land Cruiser on that one. It was a pretty old one, though.
Boy.
There was a lot of things that weren't working on it.
Oh, we have messy goat test in the chat. I missed the message from earlier. Do you guys know who that is?
Is that Andre?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Okay, messy goat test. Fuck yeah, I love Red Cain. Is it true that the latest album was inspired by Messi and Jack's love of Barcelona FC? What is this? What is it? What is this?
I know exactly who that is.
I don't know. Do you want to explain it, Taylor?
I mean, it's just like a close friend and a former member of the band coming to join in on the fun.
No, Andre is a good friend of ours. Is one of my good friends. I think we all know him pretty well. He was actually playing on the EP, so like a lot of our EP stuff he recorded.
Nice.
And co-wrote. So he likes Messi. I don't know if you know about soccer.
Yeah. Yeah, well, enough. Very little, but I know who that is. I know who that is at least.
So he's a big Messi fan and a big Ronaldo fan. We shit talk each other all the time about it. This is probably the best kind of shit talking that I've experienced. Props, I appreciate that.
For Barcelona football. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, football.
But yes, to answer the question, it was in no way inspired by Messi because Messi is just not very good. He can't really run.
Yeah, mediocre.
Ronaldo's way better, and
Ibrahimovic is the way to go.
I think we can agree on that too. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's go back to the video. That's great. Okay, so you guys are having fun. You maybe are a little inebriated and driving the vehicle, which concerns me. But keep going.
No other vehicles.
Closed roads.
Farm road. Closed road.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no other vehicles. Okay, fair enough. Private property. Yeah, good job. There's Carlos in the back in the window. Okay, those are actual.
All picked up.
That's fine. Those are actual empties. So yeah, that's good job. Authentic empties. So there's two Juliets then. Juliet's there's two of her, hey?
Well, that's kind of the open-ended question: is are there two of her? How is she able to be in two cars at the same time? Ostensibly, she is one person, but
right. The mystery.
Well, okay, so for background, it's not like a secret or anything, but the story is inspired again by Marana, who is the Russian Slavic goddess of death, rebirth. And so her whole thing was that every time she was reborn, the seasons were reset. And so what had to happen is she would kill a bunch of people to take their souls as payment for her rebirth and the seasons to be reborn. And she would always leave one person alive to witness.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
That was a gross movie. I don't even remember what it was. I remember it just being really gross.
What was that?
I can't remember what was in the flask, but I remember just being like pretty gross.
Really absinthe.
I like how Fast Gas gets a product placement.
Promotion.
Oh man, the flask. Oh yeah, she looks like she's up to no good. That's good acting right there. It's menacing.
I
It's
think
like
that's just her normal face.
Nice.
Oh no.
True too.
It looks like Lotto 649 is 5 million in this that week, and that's good. In the chat, Yasharitz, lol. Pre-COVID times when you could see people's mouths and noses.
True.
Yeah.
Better days.
Yeah, no kidding, hey? I was watching some of that U.S. inauguration today, and it's just like, oh my god, it's just a different world we live in now. And then they all were
Really wasn't that long ago.
And then they were all like touching each other at the end anyway and shaking hands and stuff. So I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So much for social distancing, guys. I mean, anyway, we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about back to the video. That smile.
That smile.
That is great.
Brandon killed it. Like, I don't know if anybody else could have done as well as he would in this video. Like, he just absolutely nailed every scene.
Yeah, I want to pause it on the smile. There you go. Look at that. That's great.
So awesome.
He's so happy. Ooh, she likes me. That's such a good. That's good acting right there. Get in the back seat. Ooh, shafted. After the smile. She's toying with him.
Yeah.
This is good. Who wrote the story for this? Like, who came up with the concept of this?
Rick and I co-wrote it, and we actually spent a lot of time fine-tuning the story and doing the like scene by scene, what was happening in every scene.
Did you storyboard it or
storyboard it? There you go. That's the word I was.
Yeah. Very cool. I keep saying that, but it is. Whoa, is that a real license plate? Who is that a real license plate? Red Cain? Or is that a prop?
I don't remember.
I think it was edited in after.
I think it was edited in.
Oh, okay. So it's not a real, because you don't want to put the actual rental car, your rental vehicle that you rented it, their license plate in the.
I'm pretty sure one of us would still have that license plate if it was actually made.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, a bit of those harsh vocals we were talking about in this song.
No, that one was actually Daniel.
Sorry?
That part was actually
It was both of us, yeah. but it was like Dan also killed it in this track because we had a guest vocalist from BLQ.
Oh, right. Yes, it was Dan. We were talking about that when you got up to for your bio break there. We were talking about. I mentioned that from Benevolent Like Quietus, the singer from them, their band was in here. So I did talk about. So that's him. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. Ooh. Uh-oh. Didn't see that coming. Just didn't see that coming. No, I'm kidding. No, this is cool. Like, okay. So that vehicle on fire, is that stock footage, or did you actually set a vehicle on fire for that shot?
I don't know. Take a guess.
It took way too many takes. But yeah, I mean, no.
I'm gonna assume because you rented the car, you had to return it. I'm gonna assume that that's actually not the same vehicle that's burning.
Yeah. Definitely video editing on that one.
We considered lighting a vehicle on fire, but I think the timing didn't allow us to do that. So.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit of budget.
Right.
Yeah, it started getting really windy at that point.
So what were you saying, Taylor?
At this point, yeah, this is when the storm started kind of rolling in. It was getting windy and raining. Started taking quite a few takes to get these shots done at the end here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not bad. It kind of looks like you're there.
Yeah, exactly. Camera trick, lighting, all that kind of stuff.
Sorry?
It was lighting, like it was a pain in the ass to set up, but we tried to replicate obviously the light from the fire.
Right. Because to edit that in later is pretty difficult. So you try to practical lighting you have there is trying to look similar. Yeah, that's cool. Uh-oh. There she goes again. Must be a new season.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice. And then the credits. Credits are rolling. Yeah, Rick, Zach, Evgeny. Yeah, awesome job. I can see that would have won a bunch of awards. Evgeny, you were the one person left alive at the end. So what, behind the story, why is there one person left alive at the end of this of the sacrificial seasoning? So she can be reborn. This goddess can be reborn. Why is there one person left? Is there?
I mean, there's no distinct reasoning for it. There's no consistency really, but speculation, through mythology is because she needs a body to get reborn into.
Oh.
Speculation is because of her past experience. She needs like a male lover. She's like reliving essentially a past events, so she always leaves one alive to suffer in some way. Or it's to tell the tale, basically, so that people know that she needs a sacrifice every season so that the seasons can change.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, I'm happy we checked that out. You know what, guys? I think I want to go into the review section of the show. We got the two other tracks we want to listen to, and I want to get your opinions on this. So this is again, I said these are artists who reached out to me. Actually, one reached out to me, and the other just started following me on Instagram. So I was checking them out. I'm like, hey, I want to play your music, and they're like, yeah, please, yeah, awesome. So we're gonna check this out. So it's time for before we do that, one last time. There's whoever's watching this either after the fact or right now. One last time, let folks know where to grab your album, how to support you guys, what you guys got coming up in the future. If there's any plans for 2021, I don't know. It's kind of hard to plan anything right now, but
we are going to do a music video. I think we've been talking about it. We've made some preparations. basically, it depends on COVID. It depends what we're able to do, but we are very close to pulling the trigger on a music video for Demons.
Ah,
Really fun.
cool. The catchiest song on the catchy track.
Yeah.
Very catchy track. So awesome. But it's not as catchy as
Now it's like in my head too, so thanks.
but just me doing it, which is way worse. That's what'll be stuck in your head. Wally,
I still want to hear a full cover from you, man.
a beatbox cover of that yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, man.
All right, folks. All right, and make sure Kindred Act 2 comes out this Friday. Get it where you get your music. Bandcamp's the greatest way to support you. You gonna have physical copies for this one as well?
Well, the idea is that we release them through our label.
Oh, right.
With that, again,
Yes.
COVID is getting in the way. So that's all I can say about that. But hopefully,
Yeah.
come out mid-year.
Eventually, you'll have some physical copies for that. Yes, that's right. Quick shout out to your record label. Your distribution deal with them. Is it Slip Trick?
Slip Trick Records, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Hyperia, I believe they're working with them.
Right. Okay, it's time for some reviews. I can't wait to hear your expert opinions. And those folks still watching the chat, we got lots of people still tuning in. It's getting late. Thanks for sticking with us. We got some other great music to check out, and I want to hear your opinions as well as our guests for tonight. It's time for some reviews. Let's do this. That's right. So for reviews tonight, we have two bands. The first band we're going to check out for our reviews is a band called Ancient Relic. Ancient Relic. I actually got an email from Ancient Relic, and I want to pull up. Well, I'm gonna actually just talk about this first. So. I think this project is, I think it's a one man project, and it is a one man project. I'm pretty sure he wrote his own promo, and I want to read it out loud in a kind of a cheesy announcer voice because I think it fits. I like the music, but the promo is pretty good. It's very I like how he wrote it. Anyway, college professor by day, heavy metal musician by night. Underneath the buttoned-up shirt and dressy slacks lives a hard-edged musical metalsmith who forges his sound by performing all instrumental and vocal tracks in the studio. The result is a fresh and energetic take on a classic metal of the early 80s that's instantly gratifying and gloriously nostalgic. Jesse Freyan is his name, and Ancient Relic is his band. Hailing from Toronto, Canada, Jesse combines an array of influences from rock and metal gods, Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, and Dream Theater, to name a few, with cinematic lyrics inspired by epic literature and historic events. The release of the single Live Another Day. Hey, Messi Gotes, thanks for following us. Cheers. Thanks, buddy. Where was I? Ancient musical vision for Ancient Relic, a moniker pointing to a sound that is powerful, rare, elusive, with an almost mystical quality. Live Another Day, along with two other singles to be later released in 2021. I want to get you guys' facial expressions as well. I'm reading this. To release in 2021, and a full-length album on the horizon, promises to be an exciting contribution to the growing metal subgenre dubbed New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal.
I think I'm sold.
We don't even have to listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't.
I know I
know
could.
a lot for something I haven't heard yet.
Oh, that's who's watching. He's watching. That's Ancient Relic music. Oh, how did I not pick up on that until like right now? Sorry so much, dude. Thanks for tuning in tonight. That's who it is. Yeah, man. He said, yes, lol. Yes, I wrote it myself. It's probably too lame. It's not. No, it's not lame. It's not lame. It's very.
Sure. I think again, we know what to expect now.
It's very indicative of the 80s. It has that. That's why I had to try to read it in that movie, kind of that movie trailer voice, because it had that feel when I read it.
Did you say he's a college professor?
Yes. Yeah. College professor by day, heavy metal musician by night.
What subject?
Oh yeah, good question. Yeah, we have him in the chat, dude. What do you teach? What is your subject? And then Yasher Eats in the chat says, nice movie trailer voice. Thank you. I did my best. I have trouble reading, though, late at night. My eyes get all blurry. But yeah, thanks, dude. Okay, so we're going to check this out. I don't have a... there's not a music video for this, so we're just going to listen to the song. Ancient Relic Music says, yeah, I run the music program at Centennial College in Toronto.
Nice. Very nice.
Makes sense.
Cool.
Makes sense. So when I first read this too, before reading the description, I'm like, I've listened to some band projects, and there'd be like programmed drums or an element that's pretty obviously synthetic, where it doesn't sound like a human, but they want it to. He does everything himself, so it actually does sound like a full band. It's one dude, but it actually does sound like a full band. It doesn't just sound like. Yeah, it doesn't sound like one guy. It sounds like this could be a project full of multiple people. So he does a very good job there. Makes sense now. He teaches at the music program. Anyway, let's check it out. I want to get your thoughts, Tyler. I want to get your thoughts on the production on this. Yevgeny, the lyrics, the vocals, the vocal stylings, Taylor, the drums in this. I want to get your guys' thoughts. And already I've listened to the song. Very much he's saying like sounds kind of like Iron Maiden. It's very, very classic metal. The new wave of traditional heavy metal. I think he's captured this. So anyway, let's give it a listen. Oh, that's your song. Hold on, here we go.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
That sounds a little familiar. Yeah. Oh. Sorry. There we go. Okay, first impressions?
Definitely 80s.
Yep.
First thing I can think of is 80s.
Badass.
Yeah, definitely 80s. I definitely. I say guitar work. Some of the melodies there do remind me of Iron Maiden. Vocals, I'd say not Iron Maiden. Probably more like either maybe some
like
Deep Purple.
Original singer Iron Maiden.
Yes, actually good.
Name.
Oh shoot. Oh no. Ancient Relic Music will know who the first singer of Iron Maiden is. Oh my god, I should definitely know this. I'm drawing a blank. Anyone else? Paul Di'Anno.
Oh yeah.
I just lost my metal cred. That's it. Everyone's gonna unsubscribe at that point. Paul Di'Anno.
Sorry. I missed a part of the audio. Kind of cut out.
Oh, cut out. The original vocalist of Iron Maiden. Yeah, you probably knew that.
Yeah.
Tyler's more metal, probably the most metal guy here, to be honest. Paul Di'Anno. So probably more Paul Di'Anno, I would say. Bruce Dickinson has almost like an operatic quality to his voice.
Very unique voice.
He projects his voice.
At least it's not. At least we're not talking about Blaze Bayley. That's
right.
That's the one that we don't like.
We pretend that that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
He never sang it. Anyway, okay. Let's listen a little bit more, and we'll give some more impressions.
It's more than I can bear.
Jesse can play guitar, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely can play guitar. Yeah, definitely very much 80s, very much old school metal. My thoughts are, have that album come out. Yeah, make some more music, man. I think. You got something awesome there with your teaching gig, and I think that's awesome that you have a passion for music and a passion for metal, by the way, and you're a music teacher, and you can share that with your students. And you definitely know the 80s, and that genre and that style of metal quite well. I was
just looking up a name of a band it was just eluding me, but it kind of reminds me of an 80s or like late 70s, early 80s new wave of British heavy metal band called Satan.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
There you go.
Kind of has that little bit of vibe. Also
Satan.
A little bit of Judas Priest.
Yeah.
It's got a really nice arena rock feel. Like it's got size to it, which is not a lot of, which is not something you can say about a lot of bands that you hear these days. It's very difficult to get that feel, and I think he does it really well. Or you do it really well, man, if you're listening.
Yeah.
I think it's very catchy. I think your guitar work is top notch. And it's extremely melodic and memorable. So,
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think of the production, Tyler?
Yeah, that's honestly the only thing I'm most curious about, because for me it doesn't sound. It's not very produced, in my opinion. It sounds very straightforward, and it's probably hard for Tyler to get a really good gauge of it. To be fair, because they're hearing this through the Skype call.
Yeah.
they're not hearing this as well as everyone else is, but
I think I'm getting a little bit of that weird like laggy thing that we were talking about before the show even started.
Oh, okay.
Like that's kind of been happening throughout the show, so it does sound like maybe there's like a weird bit rate mismatch or something.
Okay, so you can't really get a good sense of it from that
really
side, but yeah, fair enough.
From the snippets that I can hear, it sounds like everything is kind of working together nicely, though. Like it's reminding me of, definitely like Maiden, but maybe slightly more modern take on a Maiden sound, like Ed Guy or something.
Oh, okay.
From what I can tell.
From what you can tell, right? It doesn't sound that very good through the Skype call. That's fair.
Nothing is sounding very good in my headphone right now. So.
If we ever have you back to get your opinion, I should send you some of this stuff ahead of time before you come on the show, and you can take a listen to it. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know what he's going for with his sound. So is he trying to make it more modern? Is he trying to replicate an 80s sound? What is he trying to achieve? Because I see nuances of various different things that are cool there, but obviously from one track it's impossible to tell which direction he's going to take. Sure.
Let's see. Maybe I'm assuming he's still watching. Jesse's probably still watching. So if you can answer that question. Here we go. I'll be releasing. It'll be released tomorrow, so you can hear it properly on Bandcamp if you like. Going for a vintage 80s sound for sure, while also trying to make use of modern techniques as well. So there you go.
Cool.
Fair.
All right, Jesse.
Yeah,
well,
that's awesome.
Thanks for reaching. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for giving us a chance to listen to that, and thanks everyone for Thanks, Red Cain, for your opinions on that. I appreciate that as well. All right, we have another band to check out. Thanks again, Jesse, for joining tonight, too. You had a lot of awesome comments in the chat tonight, so thank you. Thanks so much, guys, for your thoughts and for including me today. Yeah, you're welcome, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cassandra so this is the band from Indonesia. They're called Cassandra. This is the band from Indonesia called Cassandra. They're sort of I guess I would call them melodic death metal. I had really some trouble categorizing them. A lot of their social media and what they've written is not in a language I understand, so I couldn't learn much about them. I don't have much to say about them, but I do want to listen to their music. And while we're pictures say 1,000 pictures are worth 1,000 words. While we listen to the music, I also want to pull up their social media because that'll there. We'll make that. There we go. There we go. Pull up their social media because it is pretty interesting, some stuff they have on there. So let's start listening to the track that they gave us. We're going to listen to it on Spotify. We're going to listen, but we actually just get to see the band. We're going to get to see what festivals are like in Indonesia, which is pretty darn cool. Hold on, Labellum.
They got a lot of people there.
Yeah, that is very true. It's very true. So here, I'm going to pull this up, and then we're going to check out their track. Give me half a second here. Labellum Urban. So the song we're going to listen to is called Labellum Urban. They actually have new music coming out shortly. I can't tell exactly when, again, because I don't understand the language. But I can tell from their Instagram that they have new music coming out shortly. But we're going to listen to the song Labellum Urban. You're going to hear it here shortly in the background. It's got kind of a soft opening. So while the song's kind of getting going, I'm going to pull up their social media. And again, I want folks in the chat and my guests, I want your opinion on their music. I think they're pretty cool.
This kind of reminds me of Testament already at the beginning.
Could be inspired by that.
Never explained that is.
So this is a band, they're warming up to get on stage. Here they are. Yeah, we're going to pause this for a bit. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit in the song so we can get to the heavy part. Here we go.
It's really technical.
Tyler's digging it. Tyler's probably can't even hear it properly, and he's digging it.
For the bits and pieces that I can hear they're sounding badass.
Yeah. Also, one thing is we're watching them kind of get set up here. I love the name of the music festival that's shown here. Louder Than You, it's called. It's a great name. And it's in English, which is pretty cool, too. We got a comment in the chat from Christov's in the chat. Cassandra, Wayne Campbell? I don't know what that comment actually means. I'm missing something. Wayne Campbell. Cassandra, Wayne Campbell.
Oh, like, is Wayne Campbell have to do with Wayne's World?
Oh, yeah, I think it is actually Wayne Campbell from Wayne's World. Okay, fair enough. Maybe that's
the girl from Wayne's World is Cassandra, I believe.
Oh, is that the reference?
Maybe.
That'd be really crazy. That'd be really funny.
Obscure.
Yeah, maybe. That's Tia Carrere, right? Tia Carrere plays the love interest in that movie. Yeah, right. Okay.
These guys aren't on the call, are they? Because we could ask them.
No, they're not. I don't think they're here. I mean, they're in a different time zone. I think it's actually in the morning for them right now. So they technically could be here if they want it. I think they could be here if they're not working. But anyway, let's go back to the song a little bit more, and then I want some impressions. They look like it'd be a lot of fun to see live. I don't know if you guys are watching the video too with me, but they look like it'd be a ton of fun to see live play. Actually,
My biggest takeaway is that death metal sounds good in all languages.
That's actually true. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you can understand it or not. I think it's fantastic. It's kind of the vocals are. Oh, they're almost.
Does it sound like he's inhaling to you guys too?
Yes.
A little. Like I honestly feel like I think it sounds like the instruments in particular have like a great thickness to their mix, but I feel like to no fault to the singers, it sounds like the mix was almost done a little flatter on the vocals or something like that.
Yeah,
like that's
fair
the
enough.
only thing that kind of sticks out to me. Everything else is sounding really cool though.
Yeah, you'd have the vocals. You'd mix the vocals a little bit differently in the mix. Yeah. Well, they have new music coming out, so maybe. Jay says I want to go to this metal festival in whatever that was. Yeah, no, I want to go to any metal festival.
Yeah, right.
But in Indonesia, it's called Louder Than You. There's actually a poster they have for it. Let's pull that back up on the screen here. Louder Than You. This is our strength. Super Music Metal Festival. And actually,
weird color scheme for a metal.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, there's some other posters here where this looks more metal. Like this looks more metal. There's a couple here. They've played a lot of festivals, and there's a lot of different. And there's some where they're almost like they're like in the second row, so there must be fairly well known in their at least in their scene, because there's a couple of these where they're this one not as much, they're a little bit lower, but there's a couple of them where they're kind of like second billing, so they must be well liked where in Indonesia in the metal scene. So one thing I discovered though, we're looking at their social media. So impressions, fantastic. I actually really enjoy it. The vocals, I kind of see what you mean. They could maybe a different mixing or different the way
he has great technique. It's just I think there's something in the mixing.
Yeah, it's almost like they could layer it maybe or do something to it to kind of give it a little more gusto, because it just sounds like nothing was done to it.
Yeah. Although at the same time,
maybe that's the style.
I can't hear the full mix really in this setting right now, but it is kind of cool to hear different approaches to, especially like death metal and stuff, where like every band sounds the exact same.
That's true too.
The next band, so that's
true.
So it's nice. It's nice to have something that sticks out.
So there was actually something I discovered going through their social media, which I didn't intend to discover, but this tall gentleman here in the middle, if you watch the videos we're watching, this is their drummer. And while I was going through the social media, I came across this post. You can't really see it here. Hold on. It looks like he passed away in 2020.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
That's really shitty.
Yeah, so sorry to hear that. I don't know. He looks like he looks young. You watching the video, if you go to their Instagram, their Instagram page, if you want to follow them, check them out. I guess they have new music coming out soon. I can't quite make sense of all of it because it's not in English, but Cassandra official _ is their social media, so go check it out. It's sad they lost their drummer. It's
weird in that picture. You saw that like puppet thing? What was that?
That's his shirt. He's wearing a shirt,
like as if he's like the puppet master of the band,
maybe that's
or the orchestrator of the band.
Oh, do you think so? I think it's just on the shirt he's wearing, actually.
It's not.
It's hard to tell.
It looks like part of the border.
It almost does, but it could be his shirt. You're right.
Okay, I'm not sure. Unless maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe it means something. Maybe there's some meaning to it
really
as well.
Unfortunate that he's passed though.
Yeah. And there's a more recent photo, so it looks like maybe they've recruited. I don't think he's here. I don't think I see him here. So yeah, it doesn't look like he's here now. So it looks like they might have found somebody else to replace him. But at least they look happy. One guy's got a mask on. You can tell this is post COVID.
That one guy.
Anyways, thanks for starting to follow the Wicked Wally webcast, Cassandra, and I'll be staying tuned. Hopefully I'll see new posts from you. I'm looking forward to new music that's coming out. There is a YouTube video that they released that I can't understand a word of. But apparently they're releasing some new music, because that's what this looks like, that they're talking about a new album coming out, I'm assuming. based on what I can gather. So and they're recording. Oh, is that the same drummer? Yeah, I think it is.
Or maybe the guitarist doing drums at the same time.
Oh, maybe, yeah. So yeah. Anyway. So that, Cassandra, what do you guys think? Is it kind of cool to hear some music from across the pond? Obviously they're not a huge band, but based on their billing and the posters and stuff like that. But just sort of a mid-tier, lesser known death metal band from Indonesia. How was that?
I liked it.
I like that intro too. That was a cool intro.
There was a really sick transition at that first part that just really hit me too.
I know, and I skipped some of it because it's like 2 minutes long. So, but yeah, awesome job. And there's comments in the chat. Oh, Jay says, that's so sad. So yeah, it's sad, but. What a downer. Sorry, I didn't mean to end the interview on a downer. We had such a positive, fun time tonight. And it's not, they got some great new music coming out. I'm looking forward to it. So that's the positive, is that, life goes on, and at least, we'll see what's coming next.
Band and the work of this drummer is probably going to be heard by more people now, because
that's true
on your show. So that's
true too. Yeah, guys. All right. We could talk longer. You guys always have creative stuff, new things coming out. I think we're ready to wrap things up. Is there anything else you want folks to know before we end the show tonight, boys? Gentlemen?
What do you guys think? Any parting thoughts?
My brain is gone to mush. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay. It is late. Yeah, we don't usually run the show this late. There's still folks watching live. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for Red Cain for wanting to go late and go keep the party going tonight.
Go big.
This is Yevgeny's birthday, so hopefully this was a great.
Happy birthday, Jack.
Hopefully it was a good birthday for you, man. Yeah. Did you have anything to drink for your?
I mean, I've got this. I haven't really dug into it too much, but I've been kind of taking sips throughout, so can't be a good birthday without vodka, right? But no, it's been super cool, and honestly, I really appreciate you guys being here. And Wally, I appreciate you having us. It's always a blast, especially now with the rest of the people commenting in the audience and all that. You guys rock too. The format is super cool. It's really good to have people, even if they're trolling us in the comments, we can enjoy, right? So it's cool to have the engagement. So we'd love to be back whenever, and we'll promote your show. And I think it's awesome that you're doing it, COVID or no COVID. Keep it up. And same goes for the rest of you guys and us, I guess, and everybody. Like, we're in this weird transition phase, but the show must go on, and the metal has to be turned up to 11 and continue to be turned up to 11. So no matter what, like whenever the live shows come or whatever else, like find other ways to share music, find other ways to listen to music, find other ways to inspire yourself and share it with people. That's really what it's all about. Like, Corona, war, death, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, at the end of the day, we have to persevere. We have to move forward. That's really what metal is about, right? That's the spirit of
100%. And actually, sometimes in like the most tumultuous of times, that's when the best heavy music comes out. People have the most aggression. They have the most a lot of negative emotions are expressed healthily, I should say, through heavy music. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Great way to end it. Thanks again, Yevgeny, or should I say Jack, Taylor, and Tyler. Thank you, the three of you, for joining tonight. We actually got to make things work with all three of you, which I didn't know how it would go, but it went really, really well. You guys did it awesome tonight. You were excellent guests, and really excited for the new album. I've been listening to it like crazy. Again, released this Friday, 2 more days. Go pick it up and support Red Cain. They got awesome merchandise, so you can pick yourself up a cool shirt or whatever else, or buy their music, support them that way. Fantastic band, and I see great things for you. So you already had some greatness, but I see some more great things for you guys. Very talented group.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having us too.
Yeah.
All right, and for folks that are still watching the chat, I'm going to let everyone know. For everyone still watching the chat, I'm going to let everyone know what's coming up in in the next few weeks. We got some great shows planned, and I'm looking forward to those as well. Again, the show must, as Yevgeny said, the show must go on. We're going to keep things rolling, even with COVID, man. We're still making it happen. The show will go on. Upcoming shows. So got some exciting things here. Next Wednesday, the 27th. So same Wicked time, same Wicked channel every Wednesday night. Well, almost every Wednesday night, but you'll see. 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Mountain. We have episode number 15. Time to get immunized, which is it's just fitting, right? Because it's almost is time to get immunized. Interview with Edmonton's melodic metal act Immunize, and guest host for that night is Jason. Jason is going to be joining me. I think that band's totally up his alley, so I wanted him to join me on that episode. They're a fantastic band from Edmonton. They dress in hospital. They look like orderlies. That's how they dress up on stage. They're a pretty cool band. Wednesday, February the 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, Screams of Sirens. It's episode number 16 the following Wednesday. Interview with Southern California's melodic metalcore act Screams of Sirens. So it'll be cool to interview a band from Southern California. It's a little further away. And guest host for the night is Vito. The band is, watching them in other interviews, they're kind of goofy. So I think it's going to be a funny episode, and Vito's also a funny guy. So I thought that would be a fun mashup, having him and I and them. I think it's just going to be a lot of jokes flying around just based on other interviews and things I've seen with them. They seem like a really fun bunch. The following week, after that, it's actually going to be my birthday. Party time. I might do it just chatting on Wednesday. Maybe. We'll see. Or I just might take that week off to recharge. I want to get some merch going. I'm going to get that set up, and I have a bunch of social media plans and things to grow the channel. So it's just nice to take a week off here and again to make things better in the show and to reach more people. So that's going to be my next goal. February the 17th, the following Wednesday, episode number 17. Big Nate is joining me on the show. Interview with Nate Reno. He's got an awesome show on Twitch as well. Getting Late with Nate, part of the Calgary Metal Fest, the Vakken Metal Battle Calgary. Guest host will be Jason for that night, not a question mark. And also earlier that week, Nate's going to interview me, and he's going to air the interview on his show on Friday. So Wednesday, you can check out the Wicked Wally webcast with me and Nate, and he's a fun guy. And then after that, that following Friday, you can watch him be interviewed by me, which I'm actually very, very excited for it, because I've never been interviewed. I've never had someone to sit down and ask me a bunch of questions and put me on the spot. These guys. My guests are still here because these guys are all grinning because all I do is put my guests on the spot. I'm kind of
on you today.
It's kind of nice that I must be just a likable enough guy, because I am kind of a shithead when it comes to. Sometimes I'm like, well, what's this? What's this? Why are you wearing this wig? Like stuff like that. So I put my guests on the spot all the time just to get a reaction. And now it's going to be my turn to get take. What do you guys think of those upcoming shows? I heard some. You guys had some comments there. Do you guys know Immunize? Have you ever played?
No. I've heard of them. I can't say that I know them really, but I've definitely heard of them.
Yeah, they have some new music coming out, or they just released a brand new music video and a single. I think they might have some new stuff coming out as well. You guys know Big Nate?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a fun character, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, looking forward to those shows. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. We still have 8 people tuning in live, so thanks so much for watching. Jay says, holy fuck, I'm on next week. I got to get my shit together.
Don't worry, man. We also didn't prepare for this.
You forgot.
Yeah. Vodka and go for it.
And actually, Jay, if you can, please try to think of some questions too for the band if you can, because I might not have as much time to plan for next week because I got some stuff coming up. But yeah, so think of some good questions for them. They're a pretty cool band. All right, holy fuck, he didn't know he was on next week. All right, so yeah. Again, this is in the Wicked Wally webcast, almost every Wednesday night live on Facebook, Twitch, and apparently YouTube kind of sucks lately. I don't know why, but you can check us on Facebook and on Twitch. For high quality, go to Twitch. Thanks for all the chats. Thanks for all the messages. Thanks for tuning in. The show is available in recorded form on YouTube after the fact, so you can check it out there in all its glory. And Jay says he's professional. That's hilarious. All right. Thank you so much. Again, tune in next week. Same Wicked time, same Wicked channel. This is Wicked Wally. And also, we have Yevgeny, Tyler, and Taylor.
Thanks, Wally. Thanks, everyone. Been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Today. Cheers.
Signing out.
Okay.
And guys, could you mute yourselves or and I guess or you can end the call. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Wally.
Thank you very much.